This week's episode of the Realest Podcast Ever is sponsored by The Circuit. Saturday, May 25th, Memorial Day weekend, The Circuit presents 42 Doug live at the TLA. That's the TLA Philly, 334 South Street. He's going to be flanked by Black Poppy and the hottest young group in Philadelphia, D4M. That's D4M Sloan, D4M Sciano. You can get your tickets available now at Ticketmaster.com or lnphilly.com.
TRPE. The realest podcast ever, realest podcast ever. Two brothers bringing thinking on a second level. Music, sports, fashion, politics, and the streets. The best 2 hours out of every week. YDN, dinosaurs, and YBODs. Real talk every time, this is what you need. We just out here popping shit. It's your boy C. Diddy and Matt makes me sick. TRPE, TRPE, go. TRPE, TRPE, go. They know. The realest podcast ever. Woo, woo. The realest podcast ever.
Jim Boomey.
Holy shnikes. I can't believe what I just saw, man. For those of you out there,
I can.
For those of you out there that follow the NBA playoffs, man, the Sixers just took a gut-wrenching loss, Game 7. Kawhi buzzer beater, bounced around. Matt said it hung up there for a week. The shot hung up there, bounced around in the rim 4 or 5 times, came down, game-winning shot against the Sixers. Sixers is over. Your Eastern Conference Finals is set. Toronto Raptors versus the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm your host, Rose Podcast Ever, episode 88. This is C. Diddy.
I am Matthew.
Matthew Kane.
Matthew.
Just Matthew.
I can't hear myself. Oh, now I can. There we go.
We have a special guest in the studio today.
I lobbied against this.
Strongly.
Yeah.
Matt strongly lobbied against this, but, here we are.
I had a petition with one name on it. It was just me. But nonetheless.
State your name, young lady.
It's Lee.
It's Lee.
It's the infamous Lee. And again, this is episode 88 Rose Podcast Ever. Tough loss for all the Sixers Nation out there, all 3,000 of you that actually sincerely give a damn about the Sixers. The rest of you bandwagon motherfuckers, we could care less how heartbroken you are tonight.
Yeah, we not need to see none of y'all crying videos and nothing ridiculous.
That was a tough shot, man. They're for them to come back the way that they did after basically doing nothing for the better part of 4.5 minutes. Jimmy gets they get a couple stops. Jimmy get a tough bucket, tie it up. Then you just
I ain't gonna hold you.
Michael Jordan.
I thought it was over after halftime was 44-40. Yeah. And then leaving out of my job, the Raptors came out third quarter, scored like 6 straight. It was like 50-40.
Yeah, so
and I was like, it might be getting dark quick. Yeah. Then I looked, the Sixers were up 52-50. I'm like, well, all right, cool. Like I guess they're in it. But I told you, Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, I don't like it.
Break up the process.
They went away from what the process was and what it was supposed to be just already. Yeah. But I get the trust of, they got to sell shirts. We printed these shits up. We got to sell them.
It's either that or send them to Zimbabwe.
I understand that aspect of it. But we can discuss all the playoffs. Playoffs have been wild, though. They've actually been very entertaining. And that's the effect of no Bron.
It's competitive.
There's no one just bowling over everybody.
Yeah, it's parity. So. The Denver series ended today. Denver collapsed at the end, missed 17 threes in the game.
Tried to get their rockets on.
Fell a little short, about 10 shots short, but nonetheless, they got to hold that L also. The funniest part about all of this, like the poetic justice and all of this playoff shit, you were just talking about the Milwaukee Sixers, Toronto triangle. The funniest part out of all this, KD on CJ's podcast in the summertime told him, come on, bro, y'all not going to be no fucking contenders. Yeah, they're in the Western Conference Finals. Warriors in Portland going against each other.
KD going to come back and give them all 50. Yeah. We know that. But
Mo Harkless going to be like this.
CJ was the only guy to show up for Portland today, pretty much, too.
Well, I mean, the thing with, and this is, before we can do this real quick. This is what irritates me when it comes to these teams, when it be like, oh, so-and-so showed up, where was the other person? It's like, it's one rock. So it's like, if CJ's the hot hand and CJ's going off, Damian Lillard's, he's chilling. You know what I'm saying?
He was like 4 for 17 or some shit like that.
it's like we've literally watched Damian Lillard take over series. You know what I mean? So it's like
you saw him in the series.
We in Steph and Clay situation. It's like if Steph is Clay, like, and it's funny because Love the other day was like, damn, are we not going to give Clay his props for that the other day? Like, Steph had the amazing fourth quarter. Clay had 21 at halftime.
Right.
Like Clay, when Steph had no points, it was Clay Thompson. And it's like that. I watch people do that. Like, oh, it was one person. It's just like, not really.
Yeah.
Like, it's a team effort. You know what I mean? It's just the way it go. But. The playoffs have definitely been entertaining.
For sure.
We've been watching a lot of it. No, it is what it is. Before we get into the nonsense, how was your week?
My week has been cool. I just been, doing a lot of work. I got the concert coming up, so I just been dotting all my I's and crossing my T's in terms of that. Getting, all of these artists off bullshit. It's a different like mindset in terms of like running a show versus like a party. A party just like, oh, hey, if you sell some advance tickets, if you don't, motherfuckers is showing. All you got to do is get the word out there, motherfuckers is coming. A show is way different. It's like a different discipline. People got to be organized. People got to actually run their sets on time. Like shit that black people don't know how to do.
You just made me think about it. The Nuggets were selling, they had a pre-sale for the Western Conference Final tickets, and Enes Kanter quoted the tweet for like the link for the tickets with refund please. That's the quote tweet. I fell out off of that.
So it's just the whole discipline of like, just trying to get people in the mode of like encouraging people, buy advance tickets. We don't want to walk up 300 people, like annoying shit like that. Like just trying to, make sure that the show goes off, make sure that I'm in the right mind state so that I can secure my bread and so that everybody can come and have a good night and we can put on the production the way that it needs to. Because if I take an L on this fucking show, I'm not going to be in a good mood.
Yeah, I can dig that.
I'm going to be very upset.
I mean, L's, I understand with Kendrick, like, take the L, don't cry about it, just embrace it.
No.
That's hard.
No.
I'm crying.
I hear you. I'm going to cry.
I hear what you're saying, but I'm going to cry about this.
I'm going to cry in the car.
Yo, I remember I beat this, is a dude, we call him the Penguin. He like a short white dude, and he kind of chubby, and he looked like Danny DeVito and shit, so we always call him the Penguin in the poker room. And I remember, long story short, he flop top set, and I chased this flush all the way to the river and hit the shit and jammed on him, and he just, I know you didn't hit that fucking flush. You really called me with fucking hearts, really? I called. You got ace high flush, and it was nutty because I had like a 9 high of flush. Like I chased it on some straight bullshit. And I turned the hearts over, and he's like, "You got to be fucking kidding me!" He jumped up and took a chair and threw it. Because it was a huge pot.
Yeah.
And like they told him when you do shit, I threw a chair and they banned me for like 24 hours, whatever. They'll ban. They told him like, you gotta leave. You can come back tomorrow, whatever. And I remember at the time you can't do it no more. But on the second floor where the poker room used to be at, it's just like a long corridor that goes outside. And now the poker room's on the third floor. Mm-hmm. But at the time, you could walk straight outside, like to the parking lot from the poker room. But it was just this long corridor. And I remember he was walking down the corridor, like almost like talking to himself. Like, what the fuck? And like doing that shit. And I remember we was just looking at him from the table, and Ross was like, he gonna punch the shit out that steering wheel when he get it. That shit was just so funny. Like, yeah, dog, I'm gonna cry in the car. Like, your losses hurt.
Oh,
they
man.
hurt.
We just seen Joel crying his eyes out.
Dog, like that shit real, man.
Like, he should have lost that extra 30 pounds in the off season, cuz.
You wanna hear the highlight of my week?
Sure.
I watched Iron Man.
I saw you made an Iron Man 2
Did
reference.
y'all peep that?
You always making references.
Yeah, in the group chat, Matt made an Iron Man 2
We was in the
reference.
group chat, and I made an Iron Man 2 reference, and I'm like, Carl even was just like, what?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, because I watched Iron Man and Iron Man 2 this week. Iron Man 2 was
Iron Man 1 is excellent.
Iron Man 1 was phenomenal. Yeah. She it's funny because like I watch movies and I'm like a real like the movie come on and he's like the first Iron Man, he's in the truck and remember when the boy Raja, whatever his name is, like came in with the hit. I mean, like from the rip, I'm like, oh, so he's like Batman. He's like, and she's like, yo, shut the fuck up.
It's nothing worse than watching a movie with somebody that know you've already seen the movie. Because he asked 50 million more questions. I'm like, just watch the movie.
Because I got to put it together because I don't want to miss shit. I'm one of them people. Like I hate. You ever watch a movie? Then realize you talking to people like,
You missed half the shit.
wait, what
happened?
Yeah, like, because they start talking about all types of, and you just like, wait, what? So I'm like, oh, wait, no, pause it. All right. So that,
Right.
So if I got this right,
So you can tell me what's going to happen in the movie. That makes no sense.
I watched Iron Man, and Iron Man 1 is dope. And the boy who's the villain, Jeff Bridges, was phenomenal. I even like Terrence Howard in it. Iron Man 2.
What's going on, Iron Man?
Like
What's up,
Terrence
Iron
Howard
Man,
shit.
man? Iron Man 2 was like this. I fucks with Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke character was dope.
He don't get the respect he deserves because he's
Excellent
like a
actor.
drug addict and shit.
Yeah,
but like he's a good actor. Don Cheadle was like, Don Cheadle's one of them hit or miss guys. Like I see him in something. What's the movie where he plays the accent with the crazy accent? With Brad Pitt and all them.
Hotel Rwanda?
No, Hotel Rwanda. Brad Pitt. the joint when they robbed the casino. Ocean's 11.
Ocean's 11.
Like Basher, he was phenomenal in that. But then like I'll see him in some other shit and I'll just be like, I'm cool off. Like Crash. Like I'm cool off Don Cheadle.
I
Don
think
Cheadle-
Iron Man too. I don't really like him like that, but in the regular other Marvel movies, I feel like he plays better.
Oh, he's in a bunch of them.
He's in
like the Avenger movies
Yeah,
and
he's
stuff
in
like
like
that he's in.
18 of them.
You figure he only seen
Right,
two.
you seen two.
So it was funny though at the end of Iron Man 1. You know, he do all the shit. He kills all the, and I didn't really like the whole them versus the Muslims. I didn't really feel that. I got where he was going with it, but it was like that was kind of annoying. But it was like he stopped all of them and saved all of them from getting the machine and all of that bullshit. And it was over. Like he saved the world, saved the planet, did all the bullshit, and he came home. And Samuel Jackson, I'm like, this motherfucker again at the end of the fucking movie. I don't understand this shit. And then when Iron Man 2 sparked, I'm like, yo, do this nigga ever fight? And she's like, well, you just watch the film. Because it's irritating me that he's just always there and he's just never really doing anything. So
I mean, he's Samuel. He don't really.
it's like, yeah, I'm just getting into the movies, but it's like the Iron Man and Iron Man 2 were pretty good.
Yeah.
So it's like now the Thors.
Iron Man 3 is awful.
So don't watch it?
Don't watch it, but it's pretty bad.
Okay.
The Mandarin is pretty fucking bad. What do you think about Iron Man 3?
Yeah.
It's pretty.
It goes from.
It's in the bottom 5 of like out of the 20 however many
But I feel
movies.
like that. It's like that with any trilogy. Like when you
Something's gonna suck.
the
The
first
trilogies are
movie-
normally
Yeah,
not
like
good.
Godfather 3 doesn't exist. Like
Rush Hour 3 was pretty bad. There are a couple movies where the second movie is better than the first, though. Godfather being one of them.
yeah,
I thought Godfather 2 was better than Godfather 1.
for sure. Godfather 1 is way too fucking long.
I used to think Beverly Hills Cop 2 was better than Beverly Hills Cop 1 till I got older. And I'm like, Beverly Hills Cop 1 was
Excellent.
that was pretty good.
Some people feel like that with Hangover. Some people think the second one was better than the first one.
Nah.
Nah, the
Some
first one
people
is
really do.
amazing.
Second one had a funnier scene. Hangover 1 was...
I just watched Hangover 1 recently. Hangover 1 is crazy.
Hangover 3
It was just
terrible.
Hangover 1 created like that type of
it was a different
genre
atmosphere.
of like comedy movie, like an action comedy
Now,
buddy movie.
American Pie, I'll actually give it to him. American Wedding is the best one out of that whole little thing. And
they
that was
got
like
it right.
the fourth one.
Yeah.
So it can happen. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze. That was better than the first one.
Definitely better than the first one. Which one had ninja rap from
Two.
Two,
Go
yeah.
Ninja, go Ninja.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That was the second one. That was better than the first
Vanilla
one.
Ice is a cultural icon, in case y'all don't know.
Vanilla Ice was definitely a Ninja Turtle.
And he
Secret of
helped
the Ooze.
fund Death Row by getting extorted. Vanilla
Crazy.
Ice is a living legend.
Cold legend, dog.
Got hung off a balcony.
Death Row got a wild story. Did you watch Big U interview where he talked about how Death Row wouldn't happen if he wasn't booked and all that shit?
I've watched probably 87% of Vlad's interviews. For whatever reason, I've only seen bits and pieces of the Big U interviews. I never really watched them.
I watched it. I was in the gym one day and I just had it
Because I'm not
on.
like a fan of like shit like that. When people was like, "Oh, well, if this wouldn't have happened," I'm like, "There's a lot of ifs."
Oh no, the interview was cool. That was just one part you just made me think about when you said
no,
it.
that particular, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for Big U. He's doing like a whole another set of work right now with as far as like uniting the gangs and all that in
He
California
made a
and
whole
stuff like
lot of
that.
sense when he was talking about how like the young niggas don't look up to the old heads, and it'd be like, because when you 20 and you go to where you 40, you gotta elevate yourself. You gotta like become 40. Because like the young niggas that's 20, they gonna get older and they look at you, you still moving how you moved when you was 20. They like, nigga, we doing the same shit. So
Right.
I'm not listening to you.
Exactly.
And he's like, nah, like I had to, when I came home from jail, I really had to like changed my whole shit around and my approach and this and the third. But it was just a funny because they talked about it like the Crip shit. And you know, like it's funny that like them gangs, they'll be a part of a gang, but they don't really like the other little sets and all that little.
No, they be like, they bang their set, like not the gang.
That's what he was talking about Nipsey. Like Nipsey came out banging the set. It was like, it's the first time we ever had that. So it's just like, you know, we focused on that and got behind that, and like motherfuckers didn't like it, but it's just like, yo, I mean, he has 60. What you know, like what you want from him, you know what I mean? But they was talking about the whole Keefy D confessing to the whole
that shit is wild.
To the whole Orlando killing Tupac show, and he didn't know. He just like he said he killed Tupac. He was like, he said his nephew did it. He was like, yeah, he got jammed up in something and was like, if he testified,
it was like some PCP shit.
He got jammed up with some drug shit. He just like, you know, if he cooperated, you know, so he told him his nephew killed Tupac. And he's like, you want to hear a confession? He like, and his face while Vlad was telling him, he just like he didn't understand what he was here. And he like, so he read it on his nephew. He was like, well, you know, Orlando got killed. He like, so he told him the dead man. And he like, oh yeah, you can go play the shit. He like, yeah, you go and play the shit then. But yeah, it was a good interview. I ain't finished it all the way, but you know.
I've seen bits and pieces of it. I haven't seen it in its entirety, and I've watched a lot of nonsense Vlad interviews. Vlad interviews are actually pretty good and pretty informative for the most part.
I like him because Vlad don't change up. He asks everybody the same question: "Is how you gonna play the shit?" Because even Big U was on the John like, we getting in our own time, and like you know, like. Or the boy, man, I watched that John. The dark skinned boy.
Pee Wee Longway?
Pee Wee Long. Like,
he was like, gang. He's like, I ain't no gang, bro. I just like the color blue. It's a nice color.
And it'd be the same questions to every single person that come in there. And some rappers just decide to go.
Some motherfuckers go in there
way left
with the intention to sensationalize themselves because, like, some motherfuckers understand the internet too good. Like, we talk a lot about people that don't understand the internet at all. Some motherfuckers understand the internet too good, and they know if I say this shit is going to go crazy.
Right.
And they be wanting the attention. They can't help themselves.
Right.
So it's like they'll criminalize or indict themselves just for the fact of being able to go viral and get some clout on social media. It's crazy. We see it time and time again.
Hey, real quick before we start the rundown, congratulations to Jules. He had his baby today.
Oh, man. Congrats, Jules.
Well, he didn't have it, but
you know, had to be.
Hollywood had the baby. Shout out to the both of them. 6 pounds, 8 ounces, I believe, on Mother's Day.
Oh, man.
How lit is that?
Yeah.
So, you know.
Congrats, Jules.
Congrats to the homie with that one. Up until like the other day, it was just mayhem in the streets. Ayesha Curry went on Red Table Talk. Now, a lot of people don't know what Red Table Talk is.
Yeah.
Took me a second to figure it out. Apparently, internet has television shows now, like Facebook.
Yeah, full-blown television.
Full-blown. I've watched like a couple of the Lonzo Jones, like Lonzo Ball and LeVar and all of them.
Yeah, I got to the point where they was renovating the house, and I was like, yeah, I don't really care enough about this to keep watching.
A couple episodes I watched, I'm like, this has nothing to do with basketball or anything.
He ain't dribbled shit yet. He's 9 episodes in. You on
one
season
John
3.
that just focused on him buying a Rolls Royce. I'm like, this the fuck are we watching this shit for? But yeah, they have real live shows. So Jada's mom,
and
Willow. Are they the main characters?
Yeah.
Okay.
They like the staple 3 that's on there for every episode.
All right, because it looked like it was a lot of people. It's a big ass table. Like it looked like it was a bunch of people sitting around it. So them 3 had Ayesha Curry on. Ayesha Curry is
the wife of Steph Curry.
I didn't want to just go straight to that.
That's what she is.
All right.
Can we just not play games today?
All right.
Nothing like. If I was the husband of Oprah Winfrey, I would be fine with being introduced as Oprah Winfrey's husband. It's like I'm good over here.
Did her and Stedman ever get married?
No.
Oprah not going for that shit.
No, Oprah not going for that shit. Oprah's smart enough to know that marriage is a business.
Does he still have his own house?
No.
I don't know about
Remember
that.
he had like the 5-bedroom house that was on the property and shit? I actually would. I ain't gonna hold you. I
value my personal time. I'll be like, hey, listen, babe, however you want to run it. You know what I'm saying? You lay it out for me to play it out.
Remember the Dave Chappelle joke? Like, that shit was brilliant. But yeah, Ayesha Curry, the wife of 2-time MVP, first unanimous ever MVP.
Yep. 6 or 7 time All-Star, whatever that is.
Curry isn't the first person to take a Supermax. But he did have the biggest Supermax up until, was it James Harden? Because Curry got 5 years, $201 million.
Yeah, I think Westbrook
Westbrook might have the biggest one now.
Yeah, because Westbrook took like Westbrook had it was like a thing in a provision in his contract where it's like, all right, if you win MVP or you hit certain accolades, then we can terminate the last year of your current deal, boost it up, and then extend you 4 more years, basically a 5-year extension.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think his is the biggest one, like 220 or some shit like that.
Real quick, you just made me think about it. Remember when Master P was trying to be a NFL agent?
Yes.
You remember who his first client was?
I do not remember.
Do you remember, Taylor? It was Ricky Williams. Remember Ricky Williams was running back?
Yeah, that quit NFL so he could get high.
And Ricky Williams' deal that he got him was like, the pay was crazy, but it was all incentive based. So, like, he didn't get paid shit on the actual deal. But Master P, like, yeah, if you run for 2,700 yards, you get $10 million. 2,700? Like, the deal was insane.
You beat the whole offense.
I watched Ricky Williams 30 for 30. Remember the one about him smoking weed?
Yeah.
And they talked about it on there. Like, the fact that his deal he had was literally all incentives.
That's crazy.
Like, had nothing to do with him just playing. If you get this many touchdowns, if you do this, all this little extra shit was just incentive.
Meanwhile, Kyler Murray, the top pick, just got a 4-year, $35 million contract, all guaranteed.
What's his name got 30 mil? Sipping lean ball. Big ball from Oakland. Didn't do shit after he got the contract.
Oh, Jamarcus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
35 M's guaranteed. He like, I'm not coming.
Practice.
Shit is guaranteed. I'm going to get some lean. Y'all got this shit. Nigga was out buying lean and choppers.
They say he poor as shit now.
Yeah, 35 M's and you on lean?
That shit is so fucked up because it's like, yo, you know how much of a detriment you are to your community if you blow through 30, 40, 60 M's.
Oh.
Vin Baker, 120 M's. Like, you're a detriment to your community.
Anton Walker.
Well, the bad thing about him is he's a degenerate gambler, no doubt. But that's not what did him in. The housing crisis fucked him up. He had like 140 homes that he was building in Chicago, and then the market went under, and he lost like $80 million or some shit like that.
Are either of you familiar with Bob Voulgaris?
The poker player?
Yeah, from you, yes.
See how she been around me? Poker player. Bob Voulgaris, NBA's #1 better poker player and shit. Bob Voulgaris got a story that he told when he on one of his podcasts, on Daniel Negreanu's podcast. Bob Voulgaris said his favorite NBA, because they was asking him, like, who does he like to gamble with when it comes to the different sports and shit like that. So he was like, his favorite NBA fish was Anton Walker. He was like, if I see Anton Walker, I know I'm going hitting for something crazy. He said he saw Anton Walker playing high-stakes poker in Vegas. Came in, he's like, he didn't have no friends at the table, but he knew one of the guys. He's like, none of these guys are like my immediate circle at the table to where it's like, yo, let me get that. But he was like, I know one of the guys and I know how he plays. So he just like, he was in the hole at night. Like he was running a little bad. He was like, look, Anton here. He's like, Anton had a couple drinks. I already know how he's playing tonight. So he stepped to the boy like, yo, what you in the hole tonight? He's like, boy was down 60 grand. He's like, look, I'll double it. Let me get your seat. He gave the ball $120,000 to get out of the seat, and then hit Anton Walker for $840 that night. Crazy shit.
Like, if I know you here, it's a good night.
Yeah, think about how crazy that gotta be. Like, here go house money.
Yeah,
watch out real quick. Let me get in there.
Yeah, I gotta get in on this action.
Yeah, hitting for an 8-piece.
That's crazy.
Nuts. Right?
Plus 720 for the night.
Crazy.
Fucking Antoine Walker.
Where we at with it? Like, nuts. That high stake shit is crazy.
Damn.
But anyway, we went off topic like we always do. Aisha went on Red Table Talk this week, and the internet lost it.
Let's preface it by saying this. In her defense, I don't think she understood the magnitude of the moment. Like, she's sitting there, she's next to Steph's mom, she's sitting next to Steph's sister, Jada, her daughter, her mother. She thinks it's just like woman time, and they just having like a regular like womanly talk.
Now, she explained to me a little bit about the show because I don't really watch the show, and she said that it's supposed to be like almost like a therapy session. Yeah, like they just go on there and complain.
But you know what makes it not a therapy session?
The fact that
the cameras are rolling is live on the internet.
Right. So she goes on there and. I'm still puzzled by the whole thing, honestly. She said that Steph has groupie attention, which is understandable. He's worth $400 million. He's an MVP. Makes kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Kind of happens to everybody worth that kind of money.
Kind of happens if you make $40 an hour. Kind of works like that.
Down at the steel mill.
Yeah, but she was saying how she doesn't have male attention. Over the last 10 years, she has zero male attention. And she says not that she wants to do anything or
But
anything,
it'd be nice if
but she's
she
like,
had.
it'd be nice to just know somebody's looking. So where did y'all instantly go? You go first.
All right. My immediate thing was she has already run a race and won a race that the hoes that's getting the Instagram and attention and the cat calling and all that, they're not even eligible to enter the race. You've already won. A lot of women are defined by their faith in God, whatever religion they believe in, the success of their overall family, how they, their matriarchal role, how they keep the family together, and what type of man did you marry. So by all accounts, you hit the jackpot across the board. 777. You got you're a devout Christian woman. Everybody, knows that about you. So there's a certain amount of respect and adulation that comes with that. You have a mega successful international superstar of a husband. Changed the freaking game of basketball. Multiple time MVP, multiple time All-Star. Amazing provider by all intents and purposes. He makes roughly $80 million a year or whatever the case may be. So for that to not be enough, for me, is just kind of strange because it's like, damn, you don't think that Bernice Burgos would cut off her right arm tomorrow to throw away her social media to marry Steph Curry? You don't think that the chick Shemaine from Atlanta that's naked on Instagram every day wouldn't cut her foot off?
They're kind of all naked every day.
Is it just for the fact of even being able to not even marry him? Let's just say he moved them into the same house where he's living at. Because I think the biggest point that she's missing is that the female attention that Steph's getting is not because he's a beautiful man or he's sexy or he's like all these women want to have sex with him. No, it's because of what he's done on the court and what he does for a living. His stature is what makes him attractive. We've seen people like Biggie, fat and black and ugly as ever. However, because of his style and the fact that his reputation precedes him, and when he walks in a room, everybody knows who he is. That makes him the object of people's desire, not because he's some beautiful sex symbol of a person. That is usually reserved for women. So the attention that she's seeking as far as comparing the two is really like an apples to oranges comparison because it's not the same type of attention. When men are shooting their attention at you, it's on some horny animal shit because they think you got a fat ass or nice titties or they want to fuck you, whatever. It's animalistic in nature. Whereas with these women are looking at it in terms of, I would trade my life today to be his wife because of all the other things that he has. He's a good man. He never been caught in a cheating scandal. He ain't got no side babies. He got a corny haircut and they feel like ain't nobody checking for him and shit like that. So all of those different things that go into the stuff that make him that make him a catch as a husband is what makes him attractive to other women.
I saw their wedding photos. He didn't even have a shave up at the wedding. I said,
What's
this
the shape
nigga is a loser. I said, Jesus.
What's the shape up? So it's just one of them situations where, I don't think she's realizing that the attention that she may think she wants is not going to come in the form that she wants it. There's a saying that says, be careful what you wish for. And it's one of them situations where it's like, yeah, you may think you want male attention. You may think you want Future and Chris Brown in your DM. It's a lot of nonsense that comes with that.
Yeah, you made some valid points. I could give you that. My whole thing, I didn't take it the way some people like. I didn't know my social media has been deactivated for a minute, so I didn't know,
Right.
The going ons. So he was asking me about it, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. So he showed me the clip, and when he said it was on Red Table Talk, I immediately had a different outlook on it watching it
Because
anyway.
of the platform.
Because of the platform, because I've watched several of the episodes. They're 30 minutes long.
Yeah.
And I watch them, and it's really just like Jada has been on there talk about the struggle she's had. It's not nothing where it's like it's a badgering type of show or it's like put your business out there. It's just a different vibe altogether. It's not like regular TV, like reality TV where it's just like a bunch of bullshit. It's really not like that. It's really just a chill, like how you said, you having girls talk. That's really what it be. And they've had guys on there, and that's really what it be. It's just chill. We just talking. But I will say that she probably didn't realize that it was gonna go the way it went, because nobody do. When you're speaking, like for her thing is like, I'm just telling y'all what I've experienced, what I deal with. So why would I think anybody could tell me that what I experienced or what I feel is invalid? And I feel like that was one of the things I saw a lot of people saying, oh, she should be happy. She with a guy who this, that, and the third. And it's like, just because he got money, just because he's a good husband, just because of all these things, they don't have nothing to do with how she feels internally. Right. And I think a lot of people was missing it. She may not even feel that way no more. That might have been something she struggled with before, and just was kind of like, I've been here. Because even Jada was like, I've gone through that. And you talk about Jada, who's an actress, who's a businesswoman, who's been in a lot of stuff. Granted, like Will is Will, but she done her own shit way before that. So it's like, for her to say she struggled with it, I think for anybody, I think
Jada was low key on before Will.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Jada was in the
different
show. Different world.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, she been somebody before, and obviously it's like you link up with Will, you're with Will now. It's like people still see you separate, but you're with Will. Yeah. So I think it's normal for anybody. When she said it, I didn't think she meant attention. Like, Matt was like, oh, she want people sliding in her DMs and stuff like that. I really don't think she meant it like that. I think that people forget she's a mom, she's a wife, yes. But ultimately, if you strip all that way, she's a woman. She's a woman first.
I think, not to interrupt you, but I just think it's a thing of what she wanted to say versus what she said. Were two different things. And I think that men are so literal that we took it like, oh, you want outside male attention. Right. Okay, cool. You want a bunch of dick pics in your DM. We were arguing the other
day, and I said something, and then she was like, what the fuck did that mean? I was like, I didn't even mean that, but I got to ride. I'm here now.
You got to ride on your point.
I have to ride that dumb shit off.
So I think it's a situation where she wanted to articulate herself in a certain manner and be honest about her feelings, which she has a right to do. And me and Matt talked to Ra about this week, and I'm like, yo, I get all that, and I respect her right to feel however she feels, but you got to articulate yourself in the right way and choose the right words, because the danger is the internet gets a hold of the shit, and now it doesn't matter what you meant. This is what you said, and then there's a 12-second clip of you saying this, and now there's billions of people.
And no one's going to go back and look at the actual episode, because if you watch
we don't got time for that.
Right, because if you watch the episode, they were talking about a bunch of shit before that that would have tied into what she said, that would have made sense, and you would have been like, oh, you would have took a whole different. But no one's watching that, because when the Shade Room posted, they going to post the clip. That's it. So people are going and making their opinions based off of the clip and not watching the 15 minutes before the clip where they were talking about, like, his mom was talking about being with the dad and the shit that they went through, because they've been married for like 30 years, and she's like, I've been with him since I was like 18. I'm 53. That's a lot of shit. And she like, sometimes you really gotta tell these bitches back up. And even Aisha was saying, like, a lady was like in the car one day and the baby wasn't even a year old, and she like, get out of my car, like, I'm entitled to personal space. And it's like, people don't understand, it's overwhelming to be with somebody who's on that level, and that person's getting so much attention, and then you turn around, she done had 3 kids, and she looking like I don't want to say he's obligated, because he probably worshipped her on this girl walk on, everything like that. But at the end of the day, like, Matt is gonna tell me, you look nice, you this, you that. If I'm having a bad day, or if I'm having a day where I just like, ew, like, I'm not feeling myself, he gonna tell me, oh, you look good, babe, he have to do that. Yeah. So it's like,
it don't matter. And she posted on Instagram.
It's like out of obligation, but the person is genuine because they do love you, they do care about you. But when somebody, like, if I wake up in the morning, I'm like, you had them days where you just feel kind of like out of it. You don't look, you don't feel yourself. Yeah. And then he might be like, oh, you look great, and I'll be like, whatever.
Yeah, fuck out.
And I'll go outside. And I could be walking down the street and somebody be like, oh, that dress look nice on you. You be like, oh, shit, okay. And it's not a diss towards him, and it's not that I want to be with that guy, but it's just like somebody that has no attachment to me, somebody who has no reason to say what they said. It's just like, it hit different.
But their reason to say what they say could be them trying to, invade your space or get into, because it may be a motive to now let's further the conversation.
Right. And I mean, that happens both ways. Like, I've had guys like give you a compliment and they just keep walking.
Right.
Like, and it be nothing. Like, genuine, like just a compliment. Then you have people who give you a compliment and be like, oh, and then depending on your response, now it's going left. And it was funny because Jada was saying, I can't remember if it was Jada or the mom was saying that that's dangerous when she was saying about how the wanting the attention. She's like, yeah, that's dangerous.
It's a slippery slope.
I do agree. Like, you want the attention, but then you want the attention and how you want the attention, but you can't control the attention you get.
So quick maths. This is the math segment of TRP. In a situation like the majority of women, an attractive woman, not even like a Bernice or like a crazy off the chart, a regular everyday run of the mill woman, a nurse, flight attendant, whatever, a 8. Every single day, 50,
not even 8.
50 niggas are shooting at her, whether it be at work. That's a low ball.
Listen,
at work,
I drive
social
the bus.
media.
I see women that are built like Pathfinders. Niggas is
getting
on
shots
them.
up. Niggas is getting them shots up.
On them.
So it's a situation where it's like, when you have the mind state that you want this attention, or you think, quote unquote, think you want this attention, now once them shots start flying and you put that out there into the world, now it's a situation where Jada mom said it's dangerous, because now who's to say that out of them 50 or 100 that shot at you that day, you don't think somebody's cute, or you don't think somebody's charming, or, oh, he smelled really good. And then now you in a situation
right.
where, oh, well, can you have friends sound different than the nigga that look like Shrek? Like, it's a whole
I'm going to say this.
different way that can go if you really want the attention.
I find it very hard to believe that Aisha Curry is getting no attention. I just don't understand that. So just look at social media, because social media is a big part of our lives now.
That don't count. I already told you that.
It do though. It's part of the world.
It don't count.
What do you like? People have people have lives on social media. People live life through social media. People have businesses. People have married, kids, all that shit from social media. So social media does matter. It's part of the world. So I just find it hard to believe that, like C. Ross said, she lying. I was in her DM. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's the truth. I find it hard to believe that Aisha Curry with 7 million Instagram followers. I'm telling you, yo, there are women who look like me. Niggas is in they DMs every day. You post a picture right sitting. Damn, I wish I was that chair. Niggas just horny as shit, right?
When the last time you wrote a face?
God damn. I know that cushion smell good. Like, it's crazy shit. Because that's the way the world works. So I find it hard to believe that Aisha Curry gets 0 attention. Yeah. Now, on the flip side, when I first saw it, my thing was, what Aisha Curry has put out into the world and what she's given us about herself, this doesn't make any fucking sense.
It's off-brand.
You told us that the reason you don't dress provocative, or you don't show anything, any skin, any legs, any cleavage, none of your back out, is because you're a happily married, devout Christian woman who keeps all of that for her husband in the bedroom. So right there, we don't just you hear that and you just like, you ever like meet a chick and she just like say something like, I'm celibate, or I'm saving myself for marriage? You just like,
it's over at that point.
Yeah,
because here's the thing: it's women gotta understand. And I tell this people this all the time. There's a difference.
I wasn't done my point, but Chad can go.
There's a difference between, and I'm gonna let you go right back. There's a difference between hard to get and impossible to get. So if you put the box up that you're impossible, niggas is not fucking with it. That's over.
Exactly what I said the other day. I'm like, you already are married to Steph Curry. I cannot shoot threes at a 40% rate. Yeah, can you? I'm not shooting 40% from the field. So you're married to a revolutionary basketball player. We know this. Your husband is, on the books, he's worth $380 million, right? You tell us you're a happily married, devout Christian woman, and you dress like you churn butter.
She do not.
She does.
Come on, yo.
She does.
She dresses nice.
It's nice, but it's not. There's a difference between.
You act like she out there in the back hanging up clothes to dry.
Yeah,
Might as well
Might
be.
as well be. It's
I
like,
seen that beach picture. I was
yeah,
like, like Steph showed more cleavage than her.
there's a difference between Gabrielle Union and Aisha Curry. There's a difference between Vanessa Bryant and Aisha Curry. There's a difference between Savannah James and Aisha Curry. We ain't even got to go to somebody who's famous like Gabrielle or, you know, who else is famous? That's married to a basketball player.
Lala always.
Lala, yeah, exactly. Like, you talk about Savannah James or Aisha Curry, where it's just like you are known as the wife of this guy and the mother of these children by this guy. So you look at like Savannah James. Savannah show up at them games, titties out, legs out. Mark Jackson said he'd fuck Savannah on am I lying?
During a broadcast.
During a playoff game. Am I lying? Mark Jackson, I got that shit on
And
Twitter.
he a Christian.
Mark Jackson said that shit during a finals game, live on fucking television. I got it right here.
Kevin loved the rebound. I'm shocked you downplayed Savannah. He said she was all city. James again from downtown. And I'd hit out the park. No question. With all due respect.
With all
No
due respect.
question. With all due respect.
Like,
Yeah, he's out of pocket for that.
but it's real. That's him being a man. With all due respect, fuck the shit out your wife. Good shot, baby. That's some man
Get back
shit.
on defense, player.
But just in general, Aisha told us from the gate, don't look at her like that. Don't bother her like that. Don't think
I
about
think
her
she
like
meant don't sexualize her, but that doesn't mean don't think she's attractive.
But we are men. That's just
so she can't be attractive if she dresses conservative?
No, I'm just saying this is the average man. Like the everyday, like you said, the run-of-the-mill man.
Yeah, the everyday man.
Like, I say though, when men say how you doing, it's not how are you
How you doing? You want some dick?
Really? You could be dying. Are you able to have sex tonight?
So you and your deathbed, you can't hit this head tonight? Like, that's what's going on?
Like, honestly, that's just the way to act. Like, I say all the time about meeting women and becoming friends. Men ain't just out trying to make friends with a female. That's just not realistic.
Yeah, if you turn me off, I'll take a friend.
So
But
how
I'm
do
not
you
out here
get
trying to
female
meet one.
friends?
Say it again?
How do you get female friends then?
I've known them. They come to me. I'm in a relationship. Today's episode of the podcast is sponsored by Rothy's. We'll have a quick word from our sponsors.
I'm just asking because you have female friends and you hang out with these female friends and all that. So how do you have female friends and say I don't think like that, but men
I'm talking
think
about
like
meeting women, just like when a man see you and say how you doing. He's not really like how you doing. Let's be cool.
that? So you don't have any like female friends that you've met in the last 8 years.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So how did you become friends with them?
Social media. That's why I be telling you. You be thinking social media is like not real, but it's real. This is how you meet people.
I'm not saying it's not real. I guess my interaction on social media is way different than yours because you have a lot of followers. You have a social media influence.
Whispers. I don't like these people. Like,
but like me for my old page, I had more followers. Right. A lot of followers.
But she has thousands of followers, but just starts blocking everyone.
I just started a new page.
This is how the difference is between women and men. Me, I could go on my Instagram today and got 13 new followers. It's like, whatever. I don't know her, don't know him, I don't know these people. Whatever. She gets one request, screenshot, sending it. Who is this? Do you know who this? Like, that's how women are when it comes to just life. Men aren't like that. So it's like, you look at it even from the standpoint of how you look, right? Women fight to not be sexualized. And that was the weird part about it. Like, women are out here rumbling for, like, no unwanted attention.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, don't talk to me, don't speak to me, you know, don't sexually harass me and none of that craziness.
That was where I was at. After, like, the initial 2 days, I really, like, sat with it. And then I was like, the psychology of it fucked me up.
And it's just like, men, everything that men do is for women's attention. Mm-hmm. Everything. Like, remember Dave Chappelle had that skit where he was like, a man would live in a cardboard box if he knew he could get away with it. Yeah. But, like, the reason a man buys a house and a bed and, like, cleans up is because a woman come over and want, you know, that's kind of how men are. So, like, women, I think, just naturally are, like, competitive when it comes to each other. Y'all worry about how your hair gonna look to each other, whose makeup is this, and who butt gonna look like this, and whose shoes gonna look like this. Men, we don't, everything you do, when you put cologne on, is for women to smell you and be like, oh, you smell nice. I've never in my life gotten my beard shaped up, and G hand me the mirror, and I look at it and be like, Chad gonna really like this. You know what I'm saying?
Chad gonna fuck with
Chad
this
gonna
joint.
fuck with this joint heavy. Like, no, it's not like that.
The niggas at the gig gonna fuck with the beard, bro.
Right. So it's like women, when you come out as a woman and say, I dress like this because I keep it for my husband. I don't want, anything. Like, it just puts off a vibe to men.
We hit the off switch. It's over.
To where it's just like, no. Like, you ever see them in a dunk contest when they keep missing the dunk and they just hold up like a 6? Like, end this shit so we can go to the next one. That's kind of how it be. So my biggest thing was, you told us from the gate, don't look at you like this, don't look at you like this. Then you say, over the last 10 years, I get like zero attention from men. And it's just like, that's how I was. It just kind of didn't make sense to me.
But that's what I'm saying. You make a good point to say that, though. Like, oh, you told us not to look at you like that, so no one's looking at you like that. So then her insecurity in what she's thinking is valid because
I said when we was at we got in such a big fight about this the other night. We was at PJ Wellingham's like going at it.
couldn't even enjoy the wave.
Like, yo, the lady, the waitress was like, y'all all right? I'm like, we fine. Can we get some more blue cheese? Like, we was going
They
at it.
literally was like, excuse me, we're gonna start.
There's like, yo, we're getting ready to close.
Still in there.
We was still in there. There's like, yeah, it's raining, so the whole deck is closed. It was pouring down.
We was getting wet and everything. Didn't give a
We
fuck.
was just, it was straight up. And I was just like, my biggest thing is, I understand the insecurities and the anxiety.
Yeah.
Anxiety is real. I know it. I get the anxiety comes and goes. I get that shit. My thing is, you have insecurities and anxiety that you almost created this.
Yes.
You essentially did create this. And then on the flip side, you don't put it out to. I've seen you and your friend. You forget we live with each other. I see you and your friends. Perfect example. You and your friends, y'all go out. Your friend, one friend is married. Y'all, you know what I'm talking about. When y'all go out, y'all look the part.
I mean, we throw that shit on.
Y'all are going. Do you know how women are? They come into the house. They can't go to other houses because other men don't let them act crazy. They come over. They was there recently. They all go in the bedroom. As they getting dressed, I'm in the living room with the dog watching TV. They in the living room, in the bedroom. You know, women are always like, they're kind of gay when they getting dressed because they like smacking each other's butts. Ooh, where you get that ass, girl? And you hear them twerking and hey, all that shit. Now you looking through the fucking peephole in the fucking door and shit all weird. But yeah, they in there, they doing anything, getting dressed, whatever. They come out and they're getting ready to leave. I'm like, titties for everybody. All right, cool. But that's how it is. Aisha don't do that.
Well, like, Aisha's married and
even your friend married.
Barely.
That's
T, call our guest. I want to get another woman's perspective on here for the sake of the show. She's going to be anonymous. Hello.
Hi.
What's up? What's up, anonymous caller? This is Chad C. Diddy with the realest podcast ever. You're on the air.
Does she know she's on the show?
She knows she's on the show.
Okay, it sounds like some booty call shit.
It sounds like some booty call.
Wow, really? That's what we're doing?
This is the secret love of my life on the phone right now, but that's none of anybody's business. All right, so you're live with Chad, Matt, and Lee. We're all here in the studio talking about the Aisha Curry situation. Tell me your initial thoughts when you saw the clip. And then tell me if you feel different or the same now a few days later.
My initial thought was literally, how is attention from other men something that you desire as a married woman? Like me personally, I've been married before. And so I remember being married and I'm a little bit popular. And I remember getting so much attention from men and women, and it did absolutely nothing for me, to the point where I had a conversation with my husband at the time, and he's like, why do you need me to compliment you? Why do you need me, to say this, that, or third to you when you get so much attention from your followers and things of that sort? And I was like, listen, you can have 1,000 men give me a compliment and give me attention, and it means absolutely nothing for me if it's not coming from the person that I'm making myself look good for, So if you're not acknowledging that, I don't care how many other men will acknowledge. So the groupie love and the groupie attention that she kind of was like, oh, is something wrong with me? If I'm getting all this groupie love, but the one person that I'm doing it for, that I'm making myself look good for, isn't acknowledging it for me, then I'm going to ask, is there something wrong with me? Not if I'm not getting it. I don't want 1,000 guys to compliment me. I just need that one compliment, that one person to acknowledge me. And days later, I've heard and read different people break it down in different ways. I've heard both men and women, and it's still the exact same. Like, I only want attention from one specific guy. I don't want to have to go through 1,000 people to see which one is the most sincere. I just want the person that loves me, the person that makes me feel good, that wants the best for me, the person that I want to look good for. I just need to look good for him and him to acknowledge it. I don't need nobody else to, tell me whether or not I look good and I'm going to feel like there's something wrong with me. No, it's only something wrong with me if the person that I'm striving to be my best self for doesn't see that I'm striving and doesn't see my best.
Summed up perfectly.
I mean, yeah, but
No.
yeah, I mean, like I get it. Like I felt the same way when I first saw her. I'm just like, if you're married and you're happily married and you're a devout Christian and you dress like Little House on the Prairie, I don't understand what exactly you want.
Yeah.
I cannot relate to her in no way, shape, form, or fashion. I don't know what more she wants. I don't know what strange men who wish they were in your husband's shoes, what is their compliments going to do for you? Like, what is that going to do for you?
I'm going to tell you what changed for me over the couple days, like, after the whole thing. It's like just knowing that I go through the shit. Like you go through the shit. You go out into the world and just somebody random chicks get on. I had a white lady tell me that my skin was so rich and so dark that it was like velvet. I was like, this bitch is crazy.
This bitch is going to auction me off.
But that's weird.
She was like, your skin is so beautiful. Go ahead. What you saying?
I've heard from so many different guys that I don't know how to receive compliments well, and not in a nasty way. Like, I'll put my head down. Because if I'm not receiving that compliment from the right person, it does absolutely nothing for me. So, I know how to be respectful and polite and say thank you, but still, if it's not coming from that person, from my person, then it means absolutely nothing for me. So I actually don't go out to the world on a daily basis and desire compliments and attention from other men. I actually would prefer a woman compliment me on something as simple as my appearance or my hair or, my eyebrows.
Now you see what I'm saying about women with the competition and how I'm going to look to the other women. Like, you ever notice
I only want to be acknowledged by a man.
Like, you ever notice you look at a chick when she posts a picture on, like, Instagram, it'll have, like, 80 comments of hard eyes, and she's only responding to the women?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Women are finicky like that.
All the you showing off comments get jumped over.
all the you showing off, damn again, and all of that bullshit. Yeah.
Not to do all that.
But that
nice,
was
like a subtle, you look nice is good enough for me from females, but I don't want a guy to comment on my stuff at all except for my guy. Like, that's the only person that I want to tell me, oh, you look beautiful, and I'll blush for him, but anybody else I'm gonna look down. Like, why are you even looking at me?
I'll take all the compliments.
Not for you.
I mean, I get it. I like, and that's what made me kind of like switch off to where it was like, I think Aisha just worded it wrong.
Yeah,
and I think that's where I think she just came out and we already don't like you. You know what I'm saying? Like, people,
it already ain't happening, sis.
People don't like Aisha Curry at all, really. And it's just.
But that's the thing. Prior to, I don't dislike her currently, but I'm saying prior to her remarks, I was like always a fan. Like, oh, she's a wholesome wife, mother, good image. She doesn't have to dress half naked, to still.
But she pissed.
So I was for that.
She made the hoes upset though when she was talking about the fact that y'all shouldn't dress so provocative and this, that, and the third. Like,
I can't relate because I'm not a hoe, and I've never been one to dress provocative either. Like, like me, I can be completely fully clothed, no skin showing, and get compliments from women and men. And again, the compliments from the men do absolutely nothing for me. I just need to be acknowledged by that one individual. I don't need groupie love, as she said. I don't need that. I don't want that. I have no interest in that. So I'm all for the dressing modest and all of that, but I just want to be acknowledged by one individual person, nobody else.
And one thing I think that people forget, like, that resonates is, like, everybody's different. Everybody has a different ticker as opposed to, like, what might be next to you. You might feel this way. This person to be like, oh no, this is it over here. So my first initial joint was like, the fuck is she talking about? then I thought about was like
I'm still like that.
I think the insecurities and the anxiety of certain things make total sense. I just think the wording in it was like awful, and it was Steph was 3 for 19 from 3. It just was at a bad time. Like it was
I just think think what she said and what she meant are just two different.
That's
things.
kind of what I kind of was on. Like what she said and what she meant to say.
And plus, you got to remember, she said it in such a short time span. Like, if she really broke it down, but again, we could all look back and be like, oh, I could have worded that different. I could have said that different. Yeah. But I think the people who she were talking to, even though it's broadcasted nationwide, the people who she was talking to in that room understood what she was talking about. Because she's probably had those conversations with them before. And even Matt was like, oh, Steph probably feels some type of way. And I'm like, he probably doesn't. That's her husband. I'm pretty sure she's had the same way I've had conversations with him. Like, I feel insecure about these things and that things. If I came on here and said, I feel insecure about this, he's not going to be looking at me crazy because he already knows about that. So I don't think she meant she wanted like negative attention. She wanted to be sexualized. I think she just wanted to know, like, I've been with this man since I was a teenager and I'm kind of an adult now. They've
been together forever.
They've been together for a long time. And it's like, like me, I can speak on it because I've been with him since I was 19. So it's like to now be a grown woman, I didn't experience like the 20s and the young 20s where it was like so I've been in a relationship. Granted, she's been married and now she's a mother. So for her, it's a lot different, but I can understand where she's coming from because you get older and you come into your grown womanness and you like, all right, you start feeling yourself a little bit, but then no one else feels you. And you like, he feel you because he have to, but you like, you unsure yourself. And I think she just struggles with a lot. And you got to look at the light that she's in with the husband that she has. She probably struggled with a lot of stuff. She said she got real bad anxiety. So you got to think about all of that constantly being in the limelight. You could say one thing, it could be misconstrued for something else. And if I say something that somebody take a certain way, nothing's going to happen.
It was funny because my pop said this shit was like, you want to be like poker main event champion and shit. And I was just like, yeah. He was just like, you're not built for like celebrity. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, you curse, you insult people. He's like, you'd be awful. And I think about that shit all the time. Like,
might be time to rewire myself.
Like if I had to be like on camera in like 3 months. Like I got a very short window before they get rid of me and get me out of here because I just know I say crazy shit all the time. All the time. And I can totally understand the anxiety and the insecurities. I get that because it actually takes you kind of like, I felt what Steph was saying and her being like brave enough to even put that shit out there because you know they gonna grind you up. The internet
is ruthless.
The internet waits, like literally, like the Game 7 tonight. It was people waiting for the Raptors to lose and the Sixers to lose, like just to get the memes and literally the Joel Embiid walked off crying. I saw motherfuckers, I need that Joel Embiid crying video. Like, that's the way it is. The internet waits for whatever the fuck the moment is. So when Aisha Curry, who we don't like, who told us we was all hoes because we wasn't married and doing all this provocative shit, and your husband shoots everybody lights out and we don't like that shit. Like, we just don't fuck with y'all on the strength. When you come out and say this shit, it's literally like, wait, what? And motherfuckers, like we did. I did it.
The bravery is admirable and then the anxiety is understandable. But no person outside of my immediate circle can contribute to my insecurities. Absolutely no one.
That's a point that I want to make. Why, and everybody can chime in on this, why the need for outside approval about how validate her own self?
Because we live on Earth, and that's kind of the way it works.
Like I can't relate to that. If I get dressed and I walk to the living room and my cousin is sitting there, if my cousin doesn't acknowledge me, I'll be like, do I look good? And she'll tell me, yeah. So once I walk out the door, I don't need for anyone else to acknowledge it. My cousin gave me the okay, you can go outside. You know, you're good. Here I come, world. So I don't even need anyone else. And it's the same, like if I'm at home with a man and I walk out the room and I'm dressed and he's like, damn, you look good. Once I walk out the door, nobody's compliments or insults are going to add to my insecurities or take away from my confidence because I got my validation at home from my sanctuary, you know? So once I step out into the world, nobody is going to break me down because I'm already built up at home before I walk out. So, you know, it's like,
well, you're just amazing because that's not realistic. It's like, this is why people argue with strangers on Facebook. It's like the world we live in, people are, think about it. You ever watch a celebrity? Motherfuckers, there's 70,000 comments on a celebrity post, bigging them up, fire emojis. The one person to be like, man, this shit is trash. It's a mother, but that's reality. That's the earth. It's like,
yeah, like I've never, like I'm not that person. I rarely even compliment people because to me it's like, what do you need my compliment for?
I don't even think I'm going past
so.
I'm going past compliments. I'm talking about just life in general.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And so that's what I'm saying. Like
I drive the bus. People get on the bus every day.
Or break me down.
People get on the bus every day. They get on the bus, they have a cool bus ride, they swipe their pass, they sit down, they get off, they go about their business. When the bus goes past them, that's when they call in and complain. Motherfuckers don't get on. No motherfuckers don't call and be like, I had a great day on the bus.
The bus was on time. The driver was polite.
That's kind of the way the world works. Is like the something happens, it ticks you off and takes you over there. And I had a lady call me a rhinoceros head motherfucker one day on the bus. I was spit on. I was pissed. And I don't even know what it means, but I was pissed. That's kind of the way we are as human beings.
It's like everybody don't have a home backing either. Like everybody don't have somebody telling them those things and reassuring them. And some people got family systems that we don't know that.
I mean, I was just about to say that.
Realistically, we don't know that. Like we can.
I think based off the response of her husband, I think we now know that.
I mean, I don't get it fucked up. That's her.
I'm pretty
dude.
sure he bigs her up. I'm pretty sure he says certain things to her. But at the end of the day, some stuff be stemming from when you young.
Remember, we like low key thought that like Whitney and Bobby was a good relationship.
I never thought that.
I mean, it looked good
because I knew Bobby was owing the JBM whole kilos back in '87. So
Hove cheated on Beyonce. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
Like it always will look a certain way, I think that's just life. We are perfectly fine right now.
Yeah.
Yesterday
it was a shit show.
Yesterday
was it's just the way the world works.
All of my flaws. I know all of my insecurities. So a person on
this
the
girl's
outside,
perfect. Who is this person?
Get off here.
A person from on the outside of my immediate circle, my family, my loved ones. They can't make me feel any worse about myself. Like I'm my own worst critic. So I'm familiar with my own insecurities and my own flaws. So you can't come and try to make me feel worse about them. I already know what they are. My spouse know what they are. So, like if he's going to love me beyond that, your insults are not going to tear me down, nor will your compliments build me up. Because if I allow your compliments to build me up, then your insults can tear me down just as easily. So I don't even give you that opportunity. You can say whatever the fuck you want to say about me. That shit doesn't mean anything to me.
You're extremely centered.
Absolutely nothing.
I don't believe it, but yeah, I need to see who this person is because I bet never see you arguing on Twitter with because it's just that's not realistic.
You will never.
No, never.
You will never see me engage publicly or privately with nobody. Like that shit means absolutely nothing to me. Nothing. I won't acknowledge. I won't confront. I won't deny. I won't confirm anything. If something bothers me in the slightest, I will discuss it with my spouse. Chad knows because I discuss shit with him. And after he tells me his point, whether he said you're right or wrong, that's where it ends. Nobody else is going to tell me, oh, well, maybe you were a little bit more wrong. No, he told me I was 100% wrong. He told me I was completely right, and that's where it ends.
So my question is, how do you get your insecurities? Like, where does it come from then? If it doesn't come from like outside people,
because we're our own worst critics. No, it doesn't. My insecurities come from things that I feel like I could be doing better or, shortcomings and stuff like that. Things that maybe something I did that I expected a better result from and I didn't get it. So I'm like, damn, let me reevaluate how I did this, how I approached the situation. And so that can create an insecurity. That's me being an overachiever. But it's not because somebody on the outside felt like I should have reached a higher mark. I don't give a fuck what y'all think I should reach.
Not that somebody else would think that you should reach a higher mark.
Be a low mark.
So you hold yourself to a certain. My thing is, if you hold yourself to a standard, right? What creates that standard?
Me in my mind and how I view myself and how I want my life to be, the type of person I be. I want to be the type of person I strive to be, the type of mother I strive to be. I set my own bar. Like, okay, I want to do X, Y, Z. And if I don't do that, I'm going to beat myself up. But nobody on the outside is going to come and tell me, well, you should be doing this different. No, this is my life. You're not going to dictate, what I should be doing to better myself or what's, taken away from me. Nobody's going to dictate that because nobody doesn't have to live my life.
I think I'm speaking solely from a generic standpoint because I hear people say shit like, I had to get off Instagram because I was sick of seeing this. You know what I'm saying? Or I had to get off Twitter because the negativity was taking. You know what I'm saying? Like all these different things.
I've been there with the Twitter shit.
With Instagram, I did the same thing.
So I've seen that. Like I've had women tell me who like have businesses and make money and do all the shit. Like I had to stop seeing XYZ every day because you go. It's the highlight reel. I say you see a motherfucker with 8 Maseratis and 19 fucking Audemars. You just like, oh, this. I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and I think insecurities and all these different things come from anything.
Yeah, that's what.
Like me with the whole.
I had a friend tell me, you wear Birkin bags, but you don't have a bust down. You wear an Apple Watch. You can't be wearing an Apple Watch with a Birkin. But she can't even afford a Birkin, but she has multiple bust downs. Like, you can't tell me what I can wear. Yes, I will wear my Birkin bag, and I will travel around the world, and I will wear my plain Jane fucking Apple Watch. Like, and I don't even want to bust down. Like, I'm going to value the plain Jane more. As soon as they drill them fucking holes to put the diamonds in, you depreciating their value. Like, don't tell me what I can and can't do. Like, this is my show, and I'm in charge. If my guy is okay with me wearing an Apple Watch, your opinion of me doesn't matter.
Anything else, secret caller?
No, stop calling me a secret caller.
I'll talk to you later. Thank you for
we'll
calling
talk to you
in.
later.
All right, thanks.
All right.
That sounded like the Reef last night.
Bruh.
Like, sometimes I just disconnect and I just,
I mean, but you got to realize this is a independently wealthy person that you're speaking to.
None of that shit means anything. And I honestly, like, hearing that talk, I can see where certain people were going into the whole, like, Aisha is technically filthy rich.
Yeah.
She's married to a filthy rich person. Mm-hmm. They're a filthy rich couple. They're filthy rich.
Yeah.
He has 200 from the A, 100 from Under Armour. He's filthy rich. And I can see where people like, it ain't even about no money.
No.
Because I'm not thinking about bust downs or burger. Like, I wasn't even thinking that shit. So I'm just like, how did we get here?
Well, because she's talking about people trying to impart their own standard on you and feel like, oh, you're not doing enough because you have XYZ. And that's a lifestyle thing.
But that's material shit.
I get it, but people will, this is not her saying that. This is what somebody else is coming to her saying. People will equate what you have to a certain, like, oh, you're doing XYZ in life because you have this, that, or the third.
My question was about
that
the
was
whole
the same
insecurity.
thing, though.
Yeah, my question about the insecurity was, how do you, like how she said about putting herself to a certain standard. A lot of times, like, my standard for some of the things I do in life isn't because of me. I didn't create it. It's, I look at other women who I look up to, like my mom, my aunts, and I look at what they've done, and I'm like, I strive to be like them or better. And I see where they made mistakes. Me and my mom have conversations, me and my aunts, my grandma, what they could have done differently, what they wish they would have invested more time into, whether it be like learning about finance, whatever it is. That's where I set my standard. So my thing is, when you're not living up to a certain thing and you get an insecurity because of it, it had to come from somewhere. You didn't just create an insecurity.
No, because all my shit is self-created. I promise you.
You create
all my because I look at my family and I don't feel like, no disrespect to my family, none of them have achieved enough.
But it might
and a
not
lot
be
of them
your
have
family.
made fucked up mistakes to where it's like, you know what? Watch the fucking
But do
deck
you
with
learn from
everybody.
that? But do you learn from the mistakes that you? That's what I'm saying. You watch the world,
But they're
around
not
you.
my standard.
Can I-
What I'm saying is
can I-
they're not my standard.
can I speak?
Because they didn't do enough, they're not my standard. I'm like, no, I'm trying to
They
do some
are.
whole
They-
other shit.
But they set a level for you. So
but
you
it's
say
a
I'm
low
gonna go-
level.
But then you,
if I shot to their level, I wouldn't accomplish shit.
but that's what I'm saying. You set the low. They're the low ground, and you're like, okay, now I'm gonna go here because
I need to go 1,000 times higher than
I
that.
feel I respect everything everybody was saying, but I can speak on me. Insecurity can come from anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It is not a generic. It's not a cookie cutter.
Right.
It's an insecurity. So it's like it's not they can only come from this place or that place. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
No,
Because-
but it does though.
Let me-
But hear me
I
out.
just want to finish.
I went.
Just let me finish.
I went broke in 2013 because of shit that I did.
Right.
Not nothing that nobody else did. So I had to fix me. Nobody else was in a position to help me or do. I had to fix me. So my standard
But that's
of living.
not an insecurity.
Why is it if I don't fucking have enough money to pay my bills, I'm insecure as a motherfucker. That is an insecurity.
No, I think we're talking about two different things though. I don't
No,
think we're on the same.
it's all interrelated.
Listen to what I'm saying. Like me wanting to get into the MMA and the jiu-jitsu, right? So I'm like, I've been watching a lot more jiu-jitsu shit. I've been watching a lot of shit on YouTube, following a lot of different pages. So I'm like looking at like an MMA page the other day, right? And like watching like the flying knees and hurt, like all of these different things where I'm just like, I'm never going to be able to do this shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that fast, you can get down on yourself from seeing something. Do that make any sense?
Yeah, but that's not a lasting insecurity.
It might not be, or it could be.
That's a moment.
Let me talk. Nick Anderson missed 4 foul shots in playoff crunch time. Nick Anderson said himself, missing those 4 foul shots fucked up my career. Nick Anderson said that.
Right, but that's an action. That's not a thought.
But you become insecure. It fucks with your mind. And that has nothing to do with Nick Anderson still's filthy rich. He still was making NBA money. That's what I mean. Like an insecurity or an anxiety to like how we talked about yesterday with Steph Curry. I mean, we talked about it before the game started. When the game was on the line the other day, Steph Curry literally, when Chris Paul hit the runner, James Harden hit the 3, Curry was catching the ball coming out the net, kicking it to Iggy so Iggy could hurry up and get it back into play for him so he could get fouled and go to the line. In that situation, I told you, Bron's on the other side of the court. Bron don't want nothing to do with a foul shot when the game on the line. Even when they won the championship, when Draymond fouled him and LeBron did the whole wrist bullshit and went to the line, when he missed that first 3, Mark Jackson like, all right, you missed the first one, cool. You got to make the second one. And LeBron, when he rattled in the second one, he turned around and like, we up 4, 1 stop. We really about to win. Like, Bron don't want none of that. Not no foul shots.
But is that an insecurity or is it self-awareness?
No, it's being insecure and having anxiety.
And having self-doubt.
But it's also something to be said for knowing what you good at and what you not good at, because we got a whole generation of internet entrepreneurs that ain't good at shit, but they still fucking doing whatever the fuck they want to do, and it's fucking up the marketplace.
The way that I feel what you're saying. All I'm saying is I can understand that. I know for me personally, like realistically, I just keep it a bean with you. Like you talked about you going broke. I was 500 pounds. My doctor told me I was going to die in 6 years. And all I could think about was how people are going to look at me if I do decide to have a weight loss surgery. Yeah. That was it. As dumb as that fucking sounds, that's all I could think about. Till I really had to sit there and like, fuck y'all. You know, there's still, literally, my homie hit me the other day, was like, she was at her job, and a motherfucker, she's like on Instagram, and like he was on Instagram, and a motherfucker who don't know me and don't even know her, just like, yeah, I heard the boy Matt made me sick, had weight loss surgery. She like, what the fuck are you talking? She hit me like, it was just like weird as fuck, but that's really how we are. And I dealt with that shit I put that shit off for like 2 years, no bullshit. Like, to the point where my doctor was just like, bruh, your heart isn't beating right. And I'm just like, I didn't want to say it, but it's just like, whatever. But in the back of my mind, it's like, I don't want to be looked at like this. I don't want to be judged. And it just, you get to the point where you're just like, fuck all of y'all, eat 11 dicks.
Yeah, so
but
I'm speaking to the point of somebody who's already reached that point 6 years ago.
Who?
Me.
Oh, no.
I'm speaking from the perspective of somebody who already reached that. I don't give a fuck with nobody.
Right, but I think that's where I told you 8 minutes ago, we're talking about two different things.
Right.
I'm solely on the point where I think an anxiety or an insecurity can come from anywhere.
Oh, I agree.
So now, peep this. I have the surgery. I work out a lot more. I'm way more active. You see the muscle I'm putting on. You know what the question I get now from people? What's the question I get now?
I don't know.
You got skin issues? You gonna have skin?
No, because somebody asked me that about you.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
So that's all I get now. And you know what it's made me do now? What do I do?
Yeah, talk about it all the time.
It's not even an issue. But in my mind, it's like,
I wonder if I'm gonna have
I could take a little plastic surgery over here. And you hear these things over and over and over to the point where
you question yourself.
I'm not even thinking about the shit.
Yeah.
I'm going to the gym and then going to fucking Chipotle. I'm not thinking about the shit. But you come out the gym, somebody see you, damn, somebody today stopped me. It was like, yo, you really like slimming up. Is the skin an issue? I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
Like, you motherfucker.
So it's like an insecurity or an anxiety, and I don't necessarily feel like I have an anxiety over it. I mean, I'm not fucking 50 Cent, so I'm never going to be on that anyway, but I don't necessarily think I have an anxiety of it. And I don't really think I'm insecure, but I can see where somebody might, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, no, I understand the point of that, acknowledging what you're saying as far as the insecurity,
so
or it can come from anywhere. I'm in agreement on that. I'm just saying, for somebody like me, or for somebody like the person that we just were speaking to, you may just be on another plane to where you just like, you block out all outside influence. You just don't give a fuck. Like, to me, Kobe don't give a fuck. And he's just one of them. He went out in the face of undying criticism. He shoot too much. He this and that. He a ball hog. Da 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 da. You know what that motherfucker did? He went out there and won. He can't win it without Shaq. He won 2 championships without Shaq. He's the first player to average 35 points outside of Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you gotta really not give a fuck in certain instances in order to truly be great and to reach your ultimate potential.
I'm not.
I think it's just y'all just are making two different points.
Yeah, because honestly, I don't even have a response, because I'm not really arguing that. All I was simply saying was to say that an insecurity or an anxiety can only come from this place.
No, it can't. It can
only
come from anywhere.
within yourself.
That's insane.
Yeah, no,
because you could literally, you could watch a TV show over and over and over and develop people who go and build bunkers under their house.
Mm-hmm.
They've been watching documentaries and shit left and right. When Y2K was happening, my dad had like this many packs of batteries. It's like that's the way it happens.
Yeah,
it's
repetitive.
Like, you see something enough or hear something enough, like how they literally tried to pin Marilyn Manson's music on school shootings, or Eminem's music on men killing their girlfriend. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or like, so anxiety or insecurity can literally come from anywhere. I hope my example made enough sense to the listeners and shit, because you can literally develop them from. Perfect example, today is Mother's Day. My mother told me years ago, God rest her soul, she would tell me all the time, never ask a woman when she's having kids. And on Mother's Day, don't just go up to random women telling them happy Mother's Day. You don't know if that woman just had a miscarriage. You don't know if her son got killed in a car. You don't know what you walking into. And on the flip side, asking a woman when you going to have some kids, you don't know if she's able to have kids. You just don't know. So it's like,
she had an abortion recently.
Right. So it's just, you really don't know.
It's Philadelphia. Sorry.
But yeah, like the Aisha situation for me, that's I guess putting a bow on the whole situation. When I first heard it, me as a man, I'm just like, oh, this is fucking tripping. I'm looking at her. When we eating, I'm just like, what the fuck she thinking over there? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how you
thought she wanted negative men.
Right, and that's
attention.
just being a man. Then when I sat and really thought about having an insecurity or having an anxiety, and just understanding that it ain't really no safe place to put that out there. And then for me, it was like, I can rock with what she's saying. Well, where she was going with it.
Right.
It was what she said and the manner in which she said it. And then also the fact that none of us watched the goddamn show.
No, of course
so
not.
it's just the clip. Yeah. And it's just like, God damn, what she want? Like, she want to fuck other niggas? Goddamn, Steph. And that's kind of how we ran with it. So for me, I'm 35 this year. It's like, I have enough wherewithal to be able to be like, all right, let me try to look at this from a different. So that's where it's like, I asked her and we started going at it. So we went and talked for a couple days about the shit. And it's just like, then it started to like click for me, because I stopped looking at the part of where she says, I want male attention, and started looking at the part of, I have anxieties. There's something wrong with me because I'm insecure about this, that, and the third. And it made me start thinking about just like shit I've felt and gone through with like, just like my mother dying when I was 17.
Yeah.
I was like, when my pop got remarried, it was just certain things I was just like, I kind of wanted a older woman's perspective on, but I just didn't want to have that conversation with my stepmom. Like I was telling her, me and my stepmom had like a beautiful conversation the other day, and it was like the first time we've really ever done that.
Yeah.
My pop been married to her for 15 years, and you know, he's going through his situation right now with his health and whatnot. And like me and her just had like a talk like on some. I told her, it was almost like I was her son and she was my mom. Yeah. And it really had me like sitting there like, damn, I was my mom. Yeah, because I don't, so you just be insecure about talking to an older woman about where my life is going with this, or where I'm going with this, or what I'm trying to do with this, or this, that, and the third. So insecurity or anxiety can literally, that shit can come from up under the table. You don't know where that's going to come from. But my whole thing with Aisha Curry was, I get what she's saying, or what she was trying to say about how she feels about herself.
Yes.
The part that threw me was, I don't get no male attention. And it was like, sis,
this ain't what you want.
You told us to not fuck with you in that light. You know what I'm saying?
And she probably don't really know and understand what the male attention is out here nowadays either, because she's been with him so long.
I'll ask you, since you're a woman, is there a such thing as positive male attention from men you don't know?
Yes, as long as it's not. Some men get besides themselves. Like
most men get.
Yeah,
beside
most men. I say it's probably.
What's the ratio?
I'm gonna say maybe 80-20, 85-15. Most men do.
That's nice. I wasn't thinking that, huh?
Most men do get beside themselves, but at the same time, I feel like there's a lot of men who are just genuine and they'll say what they say and they'll keep it pushing.
Right.
Because there's people who are married men that don't really want nothing. They just, you look nice. You got a nice smile. Like, I told you, never mind. Cause you told, but I remember I told you Mark Hill was like, oh, you got a nice smile? And I was like, oh, thanks. And he just walked off. It wasn't. Remember I told you Mark Hill came into the airport and he was like, oh, you got a nice
I was
smile?
supposed to rumble him off of that.
I was supposed to rumble him.
Mark Lamont?
Mark Lamont Hill.
Yeah.
Dr. Mark Lamont Hill,
I was
yeah.
supposed
But
to
he
rumble
just
him
said
off
it
of
and
that.
like kept putting, he wasn't on no creepy, like,
Yeah.
he just said it and kept it moving and went about his, I don't know where he was going. We didn't have a conversation, nothing.
Right.
It was just that. And so it's like when somebody does
You almost had to beat Rick Pop up over a little slick ass comment and shit.
Pop be out of pocket
Rick
sometimes.
Pop be drawing.
Big Ricky be out of
Big
pocket.
Ricky be drawing.
at the cookout,
Nah, remember at the depot?
we all threw the paper towel?
That was when I threw the paper towel Reeves. No.
Oh.
The R.I.P. Reeves. I'll tell you off air.
That's throwing paper towels at people?
Yeah.
I threw a roll of paper towel at somebody. I used to be wilding in my depot. But I feel like men just in general went to, just the way we heard her say it was like,
It was like, her?
oh, you want that DM to get
Yeah, it was,
cracked.
it was like
because he said
it was
that
like
to
a
me.
record scratching moment. Like, like, wait a minute, what? But I wanted to understand where she was coming from so bad. I've talked to like every woman in my life, every woman I know. I've asked about this. What do you think about Some of them was like, oh, I don't give a fuck, whatever. Average young bitch shit. Oh, I don't give a fuck about that shit. Then like you talk to other people, and they like, no, what she really meant. And I'm like, yo. Just to play devil's advocate, you do know men are retarded. Like, and the majority of us aren't able to be, aren't able to decipher what you meant. Like, men will live with a woman for 15 years and not be able to read through the lines and understand what she meant versus what she said and shit like that. Yeah. So us seeing it on the internet or on television is like, this bitch bugging. You know what I'm saying? When it's actually more layers to it and it's more of a conversation to be had.
To kind of like say, what do you mean by that? It's for her to go into, you talking to women, so women, we automatically get it. So there was like no need for her to
It was no pause break. It just kept going.
It was no need for her to explain, because when you hear that as a woman, you just get it.
Yeah.
And I don't think men just get it because y'all just think completely different
And it's
than we
wild.
do.
Rod kind of understood it.
From the rip.
From the rip. Rod, like, we was going at it with Rod the other day.
Like, get the fuck out of here, Rod.
Shut the fuck up. But Rod really understood it from Jump Street. And he was like breaking it down for us. Like, same exact shit. Like, yo, you've been with somebody since you were a teenager and you're on a tip where it's like, do I even still look nice to people? Because you got
3 kids in. It's like, damn, do I still
What
got
she
it?
wanted to say was, I really want my husband to break in the house with a ski mask on and
Right.
fuck me in the kitchen.
Pretty
but
much.
she's a Christian woman. She can't say that. So now it's like, oh, well, he's getting all... So it's like a deflection or whatever to the conversation. When in reality, she just wants the attention of her husband in a more ramped up, probably aggressive manner. She probably done seen 50 Shades of whatever 8 times. It's like, damn, like, I ain't never been tied up and had him play which hole feel the best. What's going on here?
Then the other
What's
thing
problem?
is, men a lot of times, like I even had a conversation with him, is that y'all be giving us little bullshit comments. They be like, oh, you look nice today. Then he see a chick outside, be like, damn, she
Right.
look good, her ass fat, and they be like, you don't do all that when you talking to me. You giving me a compliment, it be subtle as shit. But then when you giving
Don't cheat me on the compliments.
She's full of shit. She see asses and she reacts to it.
I mean, I like asses, but I'm talking about you.
The chick last night in the restaurant had her ass all worked on. It's like, and she noticed it before I did. It's like, that's just.
But when he see a chick, he'll be like, "Oh yeah, titties in it." Like he makes so many he literally makes a thing about talking about these features.
Right.
But then when he say, "Oh, you look nice," it be like,
Like, no, nigga, back the car up.
But then when a guy out in the street, when he give you a compliment, it be some oomph behind
The production
it.
be there.
Yeah, exactly. So
Step up your production value.
And then he need a place to stay. It's like, that's what the fuck be going on. But yeah, nah, it's like I got the insecurity gist of it. I got that.
I got that from the rip. I just felt like, I'm a stickler for like word choice and like using the right words. And like people that I talk to in a regular, I'd be like, yo, no, what you meant was that like, because somebody else that's outside your comfort zone not gonna give you the benefit of the doubt or a second chance to say the right shit. So it's like we gotta mean what we say and say what we mean. We had a whole generation of women telling us I said what I said and can't effectively communicate.
Remember the night we was arguing and I was like, I'm done. I'll holler at y'all tomorrow.
Like, fuck you mean you holler at me tomorrow? Talk to me now.
I woke up and had a voice from him. Fuck that. Don't tell me what the fuck you mean you holler at me tomorrow.
Fuck that.
Yo, that's real shit though. But y'all got anything else y'all want to add to it?
No, I'm done with this. I think we put a nice bow on this. You got any closing remarks about this situation?
No, pretty much just.
This actually didn't go as bad as I thought it would.
Matt had so much anxiety about this shit.
Yeah, exactly.
He's so weird.
But I think we've touched all points.
Yeah.
Different opinions. We had you, me, her, and
mystery guest.
Mystery guest one. I'm done with it.
Yeah, I'm done with it. I just think that
I'm done with it, but
in relationships, just in general, like I think the first line of communication has to be with your partner. Who's to say that she did or didn't already communicate this to him? But the presence of that clip made it look like she didn't or whatever like that. But in him backing her up the way that he did, it's obvious that this is not a new conversation. Mm-hmm. They've had the conversation before. And in that particular position, what is he supposed to do? You're supposed to back your wife.
Right.
So. Like, relationships are tricky because I'm never going to someone for like relationship advice because there's no cookie cutter way to do.
Yeah.
Like the whole Will and Jada being swingers.
Yeah.
If they are, that shit work for them.
Working like a motherfucker.
I necessarily don't want to watch her get pounded out. That's just me. I'm cool on that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There are couples who smoke crack together. That's what keeps them.
That's their bond.
That's their bond. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's really it's like because she did like she go out. Motherfuckers is legit hitting me. Yeah, Lee in
That
there.
shit's so annoying.
Lee. I just seen Lee, and I'll be like, yeah, I know. Oh damn, she just out. And
I'm not an adult.
She's a human. She has free will.
Like people don't dig it. You know what our best nights be? When I drop her off downtown with her friends and I go to Sugar House. The most lit fucking nights ever. She go drink, party, do whatever. I'm in the casino. I'm playing poker. And we chilling. It's good. It's cool. Because I don't do the club shit. You know, you've seen her in the club.
Yeah.
I don't do it. It's just not my thing. But I'll meet y'all at IHOP something later. I'm going to go play some fucking poker. So it's like, it ain't no real right or wrong way to do a relationship.
Yeah, literally, every relationship is different. My grandfather, one of the pieces of advice that stuck with me that he gave me a long time ago was the only thing that makes one woman different versus the other is how you feel about her. And ultimately, you can't have nobody police your relationship.
Like, people will tell you how to do this and what makes this, and the whole time they don't have nobody.
No. Mm-hmm. Ain't never had nobody.
Be married for a week. Real shit. Motherfuckers will tell you what they not doing and what they won't go put up with, and whole time they putting up with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And buying a nigga jeans
because they projecting. People will give advice and project. That's why they consider your source in writing and shit. They say consider your source because it's like, yo, where is this information coming from? Is this somebody that's being sincere, did the homework, did the research, and is putting forth this information, or is this somebody with an agenda that's trying to project some shit that the way they want?
You also got to understand
and everything don't work for everybody.
That too.
Like
all.
what worked for you might not work for him.
You also
got to
understand
may not work for you.
who you talking to. Like you just said, when it come to wherever the fuck you going for anything, like you. Like when they started the whole situation, it was like we want to talk to Chad because we want to get the LLC. That makes total sense.
Yeah.
I know you know that. All right, I'm gonna link y'all. Boom, boom, boom. Y'all figure it out. But like for me, if I want to start a business or if I want to go into putting together my birthday party, whatever the fuck it is, I can speak to you. I know this, but.
Ain't gonna come to me about getting your teeth cleaned.
If I'm at Sugar House and I got pocket fives in the cutoff and get a fucking 3-bet on the fucking flop, you gonna be like, what?
Fuck you calling me for?
You know what I'm saying?
You worse off than I thought you was.
I can't add, but like leak, I can hit leak and literally, he's instantly gonna be like, well, where was his stack at? Well, you know, where was he at the table? Was he hot? Was he cold? Was he running good? Was he fucking on tilt? Was he, you know, like he's just gonna understand what it is. And then me and Leak will literally talk for an hour about 2 hands of fucking poker. That's just the way we are. So it's like, yeah, you have to understand where you're going and who you're talking to when it comes to all of this shit. But like I said, to put a bow on it, Aisha's married. She's worth $400 with her husband.
Whatever her part of 400 is.
You know, if she wants to have people look at her in a certain light, she got to stop. You see her last post on Instagram? She cut up vegetables to make it look like they were riding a vegetable train. And I'm like, this
ain't getting the dick hard. This ain't it.
I'm on sauce, sis. Like, this ain't it.
Ain't to be the bearer of bad news.
It was like, you want this attention and this, you know, and it ain't me personally, I don't trip off of none of that shit because I just ain't got the time. You know, again, I got pocket fives in the cutoff. I got other shit to worry about over here. It's like, I don't trip off of that shit. Whatever it is to make you tick and make you happy and, you know, do it, achieve it, get it. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, she gonna be better off tomorrow than we all are.
Right.
Better off today than we are tomorrow.
She's still gonna be cutting up vegetables and making it look like they on a vegetable train. And, you know, it's like, you know, the internet and social media and the pop culture, shade room, baller alert. I hate them fucking sites, by the way.
Yo, did y'all see like the all the like little nigger media outlets are like trying to like drive a wedge in between like Kim Kardashian and her legal team?
Oh yeah, they hate it. They absolutely hate it.
Yeah, like they're doing all of these like slant even though they're doing like all these slanted reportings on it and basically trying to make it seem like the legal team is revolting against her.
I actually read the whole breakdown. Did you see it? I actually saw it and read the whole joint. So basically it's 2 black lawyers, right? It's 2 women. They basically left their law firms and basically were trying to start almost like a nonprofit situation, like a fund. They were trying to basically help people who have long or life sentences for non-violent drug crimes. In a lot of situations, it's weed, and in a lot of these states and counties, the weed now is legal. So they're trying to like overturn all these different joints. So they basically were going about this and getting no funding from anywhere. Kim Kardashian steps in, and she's helped fund them now. I think they freed 17 people
in the last like 30 days or something.
Yeah, they freed like 17 people, and people give Kim Kardashian credit because it's Kim Kardashian. She has 140 million Instagram followers and is the queen of reality television. So they give the credit to Kim Kardashian, and now the baller alerts, all these different sites.
Gravity and Gossip.
It's like basically... basically made it seem like the 2 women who were actually doing the legal work was like, man,
we tired of this bitch taking the credit.
Taking the credit. Okay.
But it wasn't that. That wasn't what they said or were. They even were like bigging her up because they were like, we couldn't get funding from anywhere for this shit. You know what I'm saying?
And everything that Kim posted about the 17 people getting freed, she thanked the legal. The first thing she did was thank the legal team. But people's hatred and bias against her are just like trying to drive a wedge in between them.
And that's just, honestly, that goes back to the whole Aisha situation. Because honestly, if Lala would have said that, no one would have got upset.
Not at all.
Like, all right, Carmelo cheat on you and pull up for 17-footers. Cool, we feel you, sis. You know what I'm saying?
Fuck that nigga.
Seriously, if Gabrielle Union would have said it, it's like, all right, Dwayne Wade got all the bullshit with his BM and all the, you know, whatever. He paint his toenails black. Cool, we understand you, sis, whatever. But it's like Aisha, who we kind of don't feel, and then you got like the quintessential perfect man.
You got
fuck out of here.
Married to Cliff Huxtable,
right?
Without the
you know
drugs.
what I'm saying? It's exactly. So it's like people just, for as much as people love Kim Kardashian for the sex tape and the reality show and all the glam and all that shit. They can't stand Kim Kardashian.
And the thing,
They hate her.
the weird conundrum about it is, for years the big joke was, what does she do? What do the Kardashians do? Now she's out here really like doing life changing work, and people like, that bitch ain't no lawyer. Duh, motherfucker. Like, no, she's not a lawyer.
The crazy part is, it's so many chicks who literally do nothing.
Yes.
Nothing.
Like, I mean, like, at nothing. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, the chicks that host parties and all, that's it. Like, they do nothing.
G Herbo's baby mom went on Instagram and told us he beat her to death, and she hosted a party the same night with shades on. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a whole generation of women that do nothing but cause nonsense on social media and host parties.
They literally.
And this woman out here changing people's lives.
Right.
My thing be, when they be hosting the parties, like, what do they be doing? 'Cause
Nothing.
all the videos I see them, they just
Nothing.
be standing there,
Turn it up.
shaking their weave. That's
Turn
30
it up.
inches,
Twerking.
back and forth.
It's nonsense. It's a whole industry built on nonsense, and I'm a purveyor of it. I'm part of it.
Yeah. You know I'm good on all that bullshit. But yeah, nah, it's wild to me. It's just how people, I think that's just the way culture goes. We pick and choose. For sure. I think Carl said that. We talked about the sometimes the messenger is more important than the message.
Yeah.
I know you say that a
Yeah,
lot,
I
but
said it a lot.
Me and Carl, when Carl was up here, Carl had something he said that was on them lines. I can't remember like verbatim what he said, but it's like, no, yeah, like we pick and choose who it is we like and who it is we don't like.
It's like, oh, nigga, you trying to kick knowledge? Fuck out of here, nigga. Then
Right.
somebody else come say the same thing.
Right.
Oh, damn, my nigga, why you ain't been told me?
Right. You know what I mean? And it's we, like Dame Dash when it comes to Harvey Weinstein. Dame, like I told y'all.
Yeah.
I've been told y'all.
Fucking, what's the name? Wood Harris went on Vlad and was like, yeah, Dame fucked everything up because he was going at Harvey Weinstein and blah, blah, blah. It's like, dog, this fucking, this interview aged like dog shit. Like,
Right.
this looks awful. Dame was on the right side of history
Dame
more
like,
times than not.
Dame like, no, I've been told y'all. Like, I've been said this shit about him. He's a piece of shit. I've been on this fucking angle. And y'all just didn't want to listen. It's like, all right, cool.
Dame
And
went and started a company with him.
Right. Jay was out. They did the Khalif Browder joint with him. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, no, that happens a lot. So there, you get to the point where, like Nicki Minaj, there's nothing you can do.
It's over.
You just got to go sit down. There's nothing they're not gonna let you have it. You're just nothing. It's one of them
Yeah, it
things.
don't matter what she
The
did.
game will sit you down.
Nicki put out the Tatiana remix. Everybody roasted her. Then Cardi verse was essentially like the same nonsense, and everybody loved the shit.
It's just the way it goes.
I'm like, this is an equal level of nonsense.
Yeah,
I
because
hate
it's
both of
Cardi's
these.
time right now, so
Yeah.
everybody on her.
Sometimes you
Shit,
gotta.
the other chick is like getting huge.
Oh, Megan Thee
Stallion,
Stallion.
yeah.
You know.
I'm good on all that shit.
He hate when I put her on the card.
Yo, I'm good on all that shit. But like, no, really, it's the way it go. Like, people pick and choose who they like, and I don't know why our culture is like. I don't know if it's the fact that she's with Kanye or was with Reggie Bush. I don't know, but just Kim is just not. You know,
She's out of favor, to say the least.
I remember motherfucker was like, you really think Kim Kardashian bad? I'm like,
Do your eyes work?
I'm like, like what the fuck? Like, it was like, yes, like she looks fucking great. But yeah, I saw that shit the other day and I was just like, it's just, and then I actually read the story, and that's another thing we don't do is like read the
Like,
actual.
click the link and open the story. Who got time for that shit?
Yeah, especially when it be like more, and you got to go to the website to read the rest of it. No one's doing that.
Yeah,
no
nah,
one's going to the website to
But
read
it's gonna
it.
take me out of my Twitter browser. No, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I have to pay a subscription fee for this?
Yeah. Like, we good on that.
I gotta pay for news. Who pays for news?
We got to give the Rockets all the y'all got to be
Oh, man.
y'all weird for the week. Has to be. We ain't done a y'all weird in a minute.
They deserved it. They
But
earned it. We held it for the right time.
But the Rockets have easily y'all won y'all weird of 2019.
Yo, I can't wait for First Take tomorrow. Like,
I actually don't watch First Take. I
I
watch
watch the clips on the internet.
I watch Skip and Shannon.
I can't watch them no more.
I fucks with Shannon.
Shannon's full of shit.
I
man.
like Shannon,
Shannon's so biased. He can't even hide the shit.
I guess it's because all his biases are in line with my biases, so it's like
It's
cool.
like, yo, he's so biased. Like, Shannon was on there hating on Kobe one day. I stopped watching that shit, man. I can't do it.
Skip hates on Kobe too, so it's like, that's just kind of one of them things. I like Max Kellerman. For me, I can't fuck with Stephen A.
Max drove me crazy last week. You know, Max said that Kawhi was more clutch than Kobe.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, and I'm a Kobe fan, it's gonna come LeBron's more clutch than Kobe.
No, for sure.
So,
but but here the things that Max was referencing was like, oh, Kawhi's a Finals MVP. I'm like, Kobe's a 2-time Finals MVP, and Stephen A is like, listen, Jay Williams walked off the set. He said, I can't have this He's like, I can't have this conversation. Like, you can't tell me this. He said, you can't say that. It's like at the same point where Kawhi is now, Kobe was already like a 3 or 4-time champion or some shit like that. He's like, bro, you can't just go by the last 2-minute report or the last 4-minute report or whatever like that. There are pivotal moments in the game where I've seen Kobe hit clutch shots that change the complexion of a game, or fucking make a lob to Shaq against Portland, and they fucking, you know what I'm saying, and it changes the, and it crushes the whole momentum.
I'm not
and shit
agreeing
like
with Max Kellerman, but Taylor knows. Just us watching this Game 7. Kawhi scored like their last, I think, 13, 14 points or some shit like that. And he does it on the offensive end and the defensive end.
Kobe did too.
He did, but
it was a miraculous.
You ever see that John with like Kawhi like blocked? He scored the go ahead on Harden and then ripped the ball from like. I'm not saying he's more clutch than Kobe. I'm not going into that. All I'm saying is, there's gonna come a time when the nostalgia has to leave, and you have to just accept that like certain things are just gonna be better.
I'm a futurist. I'm cool with it, but I'm just saying for right now, that's like an absurd.
What year is this for Kawhi?
This is what he came out in 7 or 8.
No, not in 7. I said this is 7th or 8th season.
Yeah, I'm saying 7 or 8 seasons.
Oh, I thought you were saying he came out in 2007.
No.
Hell no.
This is like his
when did Kawhi come out, T? He's out there rewatching the Sixers lost crying.
2011.
2011. That's what I figured. So this is his 8th season. Yeah, so 8 seasons with Kobe, 96-04. Figured they were 3 championships. And I mean, granted, he wasn't like Kobe yet. He was still number 8.
But he had that series against Indiana where you had Reggie Miller, and he took over that fucking series. I'm saying but I'm just saying it's like there's a whole movement, and we've talked about this on the internet to like erase Kobe from like the annals of history. I don't understand the why.
What I think the because I've had to like do it in recent memory. There was a time period where I had Jadakiss in like my top 10 rappers. There was a time period where I honestly thought Kiss albums were like gonna stand the test of time. Like
you and Rod had this convo.
I remember when like Kiss the Game Goodbye came out, I thought it was like the greatest album ever. And I look back on it now, it was just like
trash.
It's not trash, but it's just not
great.
It's just not a great timeless album. Yeah. And what it is for me though is I can remember walking into FYE and buying the album.
The moments surrounding it.
I remember riding in my dad's van with my mom and my sisters, and me listening to that shit in my headphones, like the nostalgic joint.
Yeah.
Like, even AI. Like, it just had to come to a point where it's just like, if AI was playing now, he'd get cooked. He'd have so much trouble every night.
Yeah.
Because all of these point guards are faster, bigger, and stronger, and shoot better. It's just what it is. Yeah. Steph Curry shoots way better than Allen Iverson. Damian Lillard shoots way better than Allen Iverson. Kyrie Irving's handles are out of this world compared to what Allen. It's just what it is. If the way Allen Iverson was like amazing, everyone plays like that.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. And people more so sit on a nostalgic like pedestal and be like, nothing can be as good as my era. Nothing can be as good as my era. Yeah. When in reality, if you take Larry Bird out of 86 and put him out there on the wing with Kevin Durant,
death.
Yum yum. That's food. That's absolute food.
Yeah.
So it's like,
imagine if Bird and Mikal had to face Giannis. Listen, Giannis had a play the other day, and I know you're gonna know what I'm talking about, and I know Taylor is. He had a play the other night. They had an entry pass into Al Horford, and Al Horford turned around and tried to square up and go up with like a touch, and Giannis batted that shit into the 19th row, and I'm like, this is the small forward. There's nothing against the center. There's nothing you can do with him.
Right.
Like on either end of the floor, like he's a fucking drone. He's a machine. Mm-hmm. And it's like, yo, these guys from the 70s as a couple of guys maybe because they played a more up tempo style. The 80s just get rid of it. Like. The game was too slowed down, too many, not enough possessions.
Dog.
It was like WWE out there.
Nikolai Jokic played 65 minutes in a 4 overtime game the other day. Then came back in game 5 and scored almost 30 and played 40 minutes. If Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had to play 65 minutes in a 4 overtime game, he'd still be in the hospital. I'm not even joking.
At the end, my grandmother always used to say, she's like, yo, at the end of Kareem's career, they would go down for offense, he'd do whatever, then they'd be coming back up for defense, and he'd just now be getting up from the offensive possession.
I was watching one of the Hardwood Classics. They showed the Lakers championship season when they beat the Pistons, when they beat them in 7 games, when they called the foul on Lambeer when he went up against Kareem. In the huddle before the last play when Kareem got the foul, he had an oxygen mask on, listening to Pat Riley like run a play. Like he got a mask on his face, like, yeah, no, that's cool. Like I'm like, dog, they would have died out there having to play now. Just no way on earth they could have played. You know, it just is what it is. So it's like once the nostalgic aspect of it comes off, it's like Kevin Durant, LeBron, Kawhi, they're gonna go down as like 3 of the best players ever. It's just no way around it. Like you watch Kawhi in this series, he straight took. It was Kawhi and the Raptors versus the Sixers.
Yes,
that's what it was.
It's Kawhi and the Pips.
I am David Ruffin. These niggas are the Temptations. Yeah. That was essentially what it was.
Yeah, I gotta carry these soft ass niggas to the Eastern Conference Finals, but you know this is what I was cursed with. Let's do it.
I'm here. And like some people is ready for it, some people ain't. Yeah. And going back to where we started, James Harden is not it. I've been saying it. I continue to say it. I've been the same way Rob been on a crusade to like say that Durant isn't the Warriors' best player. I've been on a crusade for the last couple years to tell y'all that James Harden ain't it. He's a nice guy. Yeah. He was at the Rumpf game. He was real cool. Was doing that, interacting with the crowd. He a cool dude. Got 200 on, 200 off the court. I fucks with that. Yeah. You know, he tearing it up with Adidas. You know, he's running around with the Kardashians and shit. Cool. Hangs out with Meek, hangs out with Ruggs. Cool dude. But on the NBA court, when it comes time to win a championship or even go to the championships or even go to the joint where you might go to the championships.
Go to anything past May 15th.
I ain't in it.
He got it's like a Mendoza line like on his calendar. He got like May 15th with like 9 X's on it on the calendar like he in jail. Like it's the release date and he like, we is not playing no basketball past this day, bro.
Not at all.
Like it's not happening. And the Ruggs weekend is the first week in May. We ain't playing past May 3rd.
Did you see my tweet about Rod with the Durant not being the best Warriors player?
No.
All right, so just read it and then play the video.
Durant isn't the best Warriors play, mate.
That's exactly where I be at whenever I start that shit. But it's like, no, for me with James Harden, he can score in bunches when he's actually scoring. Mm-hmm. That I'm trying to draw contact shit has absolutely ruined the Rockets.
It's nasty.
The Rockets have, because Chris Paul has adopted it now.
Yeah.
To where Chris Paul is flopping on like inbounds. Like just stupid shit that makes absolutely. I saw them the other day. It was a dead ball. Like the refs blew because it was a kick, like a kick ball. Yeah. The refs blew the whistle, threw his leg out, kick ball. Threw the ball to the ref. When he threw the ball to the ref, who was it? What's the Cook? Quinn Cook?
Quinn Cook, yeah.
When he threw the ball to the ref, his arm came up and hit Chris Paul like up under the neck, and he went falling back. And they was just looking like, bro, the ball ain't in play. Like, what are you doing?
It's like, oh, my bad. All right.
Yeah, like
try again next time.
They've adopted this weird ass, we gonna try to draw contact shit. If you watch game 3 of this series, game 4, when they tied it up.
Yeah.
Harden wasn't doing none of that goofy shit. He was just coming down and pulling up.
Yeah.
He's arguably the most skilled player on an NBA court whenever he's on a court.
And he's a fucking lefty to boot.
He's a tank.
Yeah.
He's bigger than Jordan. Like, he's huge. Like, we saw him, like, he was like, he's gigantic. And he can jump out the gym. He can shoot from fucking 40. But he just gets so goofy when it come time to actually play because he's worried about drawing goofy-ass contact. And now that Chris Paul got that shit in his game and Chris Paul 100, it's just like...
Like, they got to bring this same team back next year. You made that point the other day.
Do you know how much Chris Paul's owed over the next 3 seasons?
Yeah, like
124 over the next 3 seasons. Think about how bad this shit is for the Rockets, right? Y'all are over the cap. You got James Harden, Chris Paul, PJ Tucker, Clint Capella, and who's the other person's deal they can't move? Gordon. Eric Gordon. Can't move none of these deals over the cap, and they have 0 draft picks this draft. They don't have a pick in the draft.
And you trade away a good amount of young players for Chris Paul. Like, look at that Clippers team now.
Where'd she go?
Yeah, the Clippers team played Golden State tighter than the fucking Rockets did, in all intents and purposes, because I said this on Twitter the other day. I'm like, yo, Golden State and the Rockets is the most frustrating series because for all intents and purposes, Golden State should sweep them. Like, it's like you see like the opening 2 games of every series and you like, oh, it's over. They're going to sweep these motherfuckers. And then Steph goes into Ringling Brothers and Barham Belly mode where he just turning the ball over like for anything and shit like that. And Clay, they not passing Clay the ball and shit like that. Then they down 2, then they tied up 2-2. Then you like, all right, they gonna get it together. And then sure enough, it's Christmas. They get it together and they knock these motherfuckers off like, every season.
Honestly, what Draymond Green said the other day was some of the realest shit I think I've ever heard an NBA player say. Draymond Green straight said after the game, it makes no sense to me that they aren't respected as like living legends. He's like, I don't know if it's because they light skin or what it is, but people like look at them as soft and as fragile. I guess it's because they light skin and they just shoot threes. Right. But them niggas never fold, ever. Yeah. Like never. He's like, I can't think of one time where where our backs was against the wall and them niggas folded. Like ever. And he not lying. It might be Clay, it might be Steph, it might be Steph and Clay. But if the shit's on the line, Clay's gonna score 37. If the shit's on the line, Steph Curry's gonna hit 8 threes, 9 threes. The other night, I knew the Rockets wasn't winning that shit when Steph Curry had 0 at halftime and the game was tied. I said, this shit is...
It's over.
They're not going to win this. The Sixers in a must-win Game 6 the other night, they was up 17 at halftime. You can't play with that.
Right.
If you would have asked me or told me DeMarcus Cousins is injured, Kevin Durant is injured, and Steph Curry at halftime would have 0 points in a Game 6 in Houston that the Rockets was down 3-2, what would be the score at halftime? There's no way on earth I'd say that game would be tied.
Yeah, you think they down 14, 18 points or some shit like that.
The game was tied. Steph Curry hadn't scored. I said, oh, this shit is a wrap, dog. And then Curry comes out and puts on the greatest fourth quarter shit we've seen like maybe
16
ever.
16 in the last 4 minutes.
And I told you the way he was with get me the ball on the inbound. Yeah. I'll go to the foul line. Harden missed 5 free throws that game. And I'm just like, damn, you really want to go to Ruggs weekend? Like, you already there.
Me and Matt did some investigating. Harden's on the flyer.
Harden is
on the flyer.
Harden's fucking face is on the official Say white party for Ruggs weekend. Do you know how fucking crazy that is, dog?
Party is May 17th.
That's nuts. Smack dab in the middle of the Western Conference Finals. That's where your face is at. That's where you at.
Already booked the PJ, bro. I don't know what y'all want me to do.
You cannot possibly be serious, dog. That's nuts,
like,
yo.
Imagine if they would have won, hit him like, so I don't get no time off, like, in between. Like, you sure I can't go?
Dog.
They can't reschedule this game?
I do not fuck with James Harden on an NBA court. I like him as a person.
He's a talented player, great person. He's completely full of shit when it counts.
I'm good. I'm good on Chris Paul.
I hate Chris Paul.
Y'all was supposed to win. The Rockets were supposed to win that series.
Yeah.
Y'all
been telling people for a year straight.
What would have happened?
What would have happened if we would have hit 1 out of 27 threes, or we would have had CP3, or this, that, and the third? We would have won. Y'all been running that shit for the last year straight. And y'all got them early in the playoffs. When y'all coming off of a cupcake series against Utah, y'all got them early in the playoffs, fresh legs, all that shit. Everybody's healthy, and y'all folded.
And Kevin Durant goes down.
And Kevin Durant went down, and Boogie already was down, and y'all fucking folded like lawn chairs.
Unbelievable. I still can't believe that shit, dog.
Don't talk that Houston Rockets shit to me, please.
I'm good. Like, I'm straight. Like, I don't want to hear
Don't talk that shit to me.
Like, the Warriors, we just were saying how the Warriors aren't the strength in numbers Warriors, and y'all straight let quit. There was at one point when Steph got into foul trouble and Draymond was in foul trouble earlier.
Yeah.
Steve Kerr put a lineup on the floor of Klay Thompson, Jerebko, Cook, Looney, and what's the other one? His last name started with an M. What the fuck is his name? Young black kid. This is gonna irritate me.
The one from Oregon?
It's just gonna irritate me if I don't have it. McKinney.
Never even heard of him.
Alfonso McKinney. They had McKinney, Jarebko, Jordan Bell, Quinn Cook, Looney, McKenzie, Jordan Bell, Jarebko, and Klay Thompson on the floor. That was the lineup they was running with. The game was tied, and it stayed tied.
Right.
Looney outplayed Clint Capella. I still don't even understand it. It's nuts. That's crazy. It's nuts when you think about it. All seasoned motherfuckers. Iman Shumpert, Austin Rivers, just...
I can't wait for First Take tomorrow. Like, I literally can't wait. Like
y'all went out there and sold y'all asses in front of Beyonce. Y'all bugging.
And her husband.
Yeah, Beyonce and her husband. Like, y'all tripping. That honestly is the most shocking shit I've seen in sports this year. Like, even if y'all lose Game 7 in Oracle,
you gotta win game
on a tight situation down to the wire, sort of like the game tonight with the Sixers, and you're not mad at that.
Yeah.
That ball bounced one out of the 4 different ways it did, and don't go in. Y'all go to overtime. Cool. You cool with that shit happening. Sixers got there. Game 6 in Philly, they did what they were supposed to do, and they got there.
Business.
Could you imagine if in Game 5, Kawhi gets hurt with 5 minutes left in the third, and somehow the Raptors win that?
The baby dinosaur.
And then come into Philly on Game 6 with no Kawhi and win in front of, like, Meek. Like, what the?
And Chino MMG.
Like, what the fuck? That's how crazy, like, the Rocket shit makes absolutely no sense. How did y'all blow this? You can't even process it for real. It took me a second to even be like, what? Wait, for real?
Max Kellerman broke down the math of it on Friday. He's like, listen, he said if the Houston Rockets have like a 70% chance of winning Friday's game, and then they have, then if it's a Game 7, if they got a fucking 60% chance, he said they still overall have a 49% chance of winning the series. The Warriors are still prohibitive favorites if it goes to a Game 7. He said, but nothing tells you that they should lose Game 6. Like, there's no explicable reason for them to lose Game 6, and they lost mightily. Like, they were controlled down the stretch. And James Harden looked pitiful.
Yeah.
He had a hollow 35 points.
Yeah. I thought they was done when they stopped going through Chris Paul, because Chris Paul was actually penetrating and actually getting to the rim and causing confusion. Once the ball came out of his hand, I'm just like, I'm not understanding this shit much, but all right, whatever. And they're by far the most disappointing shit in sports.
Because like I said, they ran with that shit for the last year straight.
So now we got the Warriors and the Blazers.
Yeah.
I know Dell going to be talking crazy this week. Both your sons in the conference finals against each other. Him and Sonya, who we had talked about it the other day. Sonya was sitting up there easily washing everybody on Red Table Talk.
Fine
the
as
other
one.
day. Yeah, she's amazing.
At 54, whatever. How old
we got the Nuggets and the Warriors in Western Conference Finals.
No,
now,
Blazers and the Warriors.
Blazers and the Warriors. Excuse me. I keep saying Nuggets.
Folded. Nuggets missed 17 threes in a row to end the game.
I'm not mad at it though, because the Nuggets are a younger team.
Young team. They're a bunch of babies.
And Nikolai played his ass off, and even Jamal Murray, who I hate, played. I can't even hate him. But CJ today was just
too much.
Yeah, CJ was unreal. So you got the Blazers and the Warriors, Curry versus Curry.
Yeah.
And then in the East now, we got the Bucks and the Raptors. I had all 3 of these teams being there. I had the Bucks, Raptors, Warriors. I actually had Bucks, Raptors, Warriors, Thunder. And yeah, I fucked up on that one.
Players fuck up.
Players fuck up. But we got the Blazers, Warriors, Bucks, Raptors. Who do you think goes to the finals, and who do you think wins?
Warriors, Bucks. I think the Warriors win it in 6. Looking at Milwaukee's path through the playoffs, them just destroying people. Obviously Detroit was what it was. That was a tune-up series. But for them to run through Boston the way that they did, make Kyrie look pedestrian, all of that shit, I think they're going to do the same thing to the Raptors. They probably win it in 5 and go to the finals. But I just think that there's something to be said for like a championship pedigree in the heart of a champion and knowing how to win and being there before. And I just think the Warriors is going to figure it out and they're going to beat the Bucks.
I'm gonna say this: the Warriors aren't the same Warriors in the fact that they're not like last couple years. It's been the Warriors and the Cavs just steamrolling everybody to the finals, and then the Warriors get there and steamroll them. So it's like I watched the 15 finals the other day when they first won their first one, and then I watched the 16 finals, and like it really made me think like, damn, yo, the Warriors really had like Leandro Barbosa and all these different little weapons off the bench that contributed and did all this stuff. They're not that anymore. And they're going for a three-peat, right? They're top-heavy. Durant,
super top-heavy.
Durant, Curry, Thompson, Draymond. We know that.
Who's their best bench player? Because it's not Sean Livingston right now.
Honestly, it's probably Looney.
Probably Looney.
Looney's been hooping off the bench. I'll give him that.
That's scary. That's your best bench player.
But it's like they're not the strength and numbers Warriors, right?
Yeah,
so we understand that. And we watched them steamroll over everybody. And you watch the first series went to 6, right, with the Clippers. And now this series just went to 6 with the Rockets. And it's going to probably be 6 games with the Blazers, maybe 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Might go 7. Yeah, wouldn't be surprised to see it go 7. But they're not going to sweep them or nothing like that.
No.
And the Warriors just aren't that anymore. And I think they get past the Blazers, and I think they go to the championship. And even if I kind of think the Raptors might sneak their way into the finals.
I just think Giannis is just on a mission.
Kawhi is equally as yoked, so it's like it's going to be a great,
They're gonna fight. They're gonna battle.
And then my thing is with the Raptors, they actually match up well with the Bucks because they have the length and the stretch players. Like they have Pascal Siakam, Serge Ibaka, and even Marc Gasol's been playing great fucking minutes for them. But I think the Warriors do win the championship this year, and it's one of those like we won, but we barely got there. And they get the three-peat this year, and it's done. Like the Warriors, there's no more championships for Warriors because the landscape of basketball is going to change so much this offseason. You literally are talking about out of the 13 or 14 best players in the league, 8 of them might move this summer.
Yeah.
You're talking about Kevin Durant, Kawhi, Clay, Anthony Davis. These people can all be on different. Kyrie. These people could all be on the same team next year. You just don't know what's going to happen this year. So the landscape, I think, is going to change so much that. Think about it. The Warriors win this chip, and KD and Clay leave. The Warriors aren't winning any more chips.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
But the thing is, the Warriors are so tricky. They fuck around and package Draymond and some other shit and pop up with Anthony Davis, and now you bring Boogie back with Anthony Davis and Steph, and then it's like
you never know.
They might be right back in the finals. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is going to be the craziest summer in NBA history.
It's going to be insane.
I think the Clippers are everybody's pretty much perennial favorite to become a title contender based off of this season, but I think that Brooklyn is a dark horse, and I think that with Sean Marks running that franchise and the way that team is coached and all them young, scrappy players that they got, I think that they fuck around and might end up with like a KD and a Kyrie over there and then get a clear path to the finals coming out of the East. It's going to be a crazy summer. It's definitely going to be a crazy summer for the NBA.
You got anything else you want to?
Got nothing, man. Great show. I love the conversation. Thanks for coming, Lee. You didn't have much to say about the NBA, obviously.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, she told me. She was like, y'all start with the sports shit. I'm checking out.
One thing I was going to say about agreeing with, I can't stand watching Harden play. Like, whenever he has been around, it's just
mentally exhausting.
It is. It's just horrible.
You watch somebody that has all the moves. He's a lefty. He can shoot from anywhere. He can break anybody down.
And he spend more time on the ground.
And he just get off the ground. Stop falling into people.
He's bad. Chris Paul, though.
That was ridiculous.
That shit the other night, I couldn't believe he did that. Like, I'm talking about on passing the ball to the ref. His arm he flew back. I was like, what the fuck was that? I can't fuck with that style of basketball, that style. And I just don't like them with because they take the analytical 3-point shit to the next fucking level. Yeah. They had a game this year where they shot 63 threes. It's just like, what are we doing? And I told my man, he like, yo, Harden might be the best scorer we've ever seen. And I'm like, by the numbers, he's not. And he like, how you figure? I'm like, listen, I seen James Harden on a one night go 5 for 23 from 3, right? If you shoot 37 times, right, just by metrics, 37 times 2 is 74. If you shoot 37 field goals, like just layup attempts, that's an opportunity to have 74 points. 37 times. If 23 of those shots are threes, right? So you got 14 field goals and then 23 threes. 14 times 2 is 28. So you got opportunity to get 28 in field goals, and then 23 times 3 is 66? 69.
69.
You got 69 plus 28. You're talking about 87 fucking points. You have 97 points you have an opportunity to achieve. You have 35. This is not great shooting. This just isn't.
This is paint by numbers. It's volume shooting.
Right. It's like he literally will have an opportunity to score 97, but score 37. And motherfuckers be like, man, Harden killing him tonight. And I'd be like, he's just shooting a lot and a lot. Like, even when Kobe had his 81 game, Kobe shot 40, I think it was 46 times that game. 46 field goal attempts. He had 80. Even the last game he played when he had the 60, he shot 50 times. He had 60. Right. It's like, make it make sense. You taking 25 three-pointers in a game. In a game.
That's not a high percentage.
I remember I was fucking with Rod because Rod was talking about how dope it was, whatever. And I'm like, dog, on an average night for James Harden, this motherfucker will really come out and he will literally be like 13 for 38 and be like 6 for 24 from 3 with 38 points. And Rod was like, all right, it don't be that bad. Do you know what he
22 free throws.
You know what he had that night? He was 11 for 35. 5 for 21 from 3 and like 16 for 23 from the foul line. And I'm just like, this is awful. This is the same shit I told you he'd be doing. And Ron like, no, I can't even cap. That shit was bad. I'm like, dog. Like, I hate watching him play. It's just annoying to watch them play basketball. So it's like, I'm happy they lost. And like you said, you know.
You happy they lost?
Yeah, because I don't want to reward dumb shit. That's kind of how I am in life. Yeah. Like, remember back when you would read a book and they give you the personal pan pizza?
Wait, what?
Too young.
I'm too young.
I know exactly.
Back in elementary school, if you read, it was the Scholastic Achievement Award. If you read a Goosebumps book, we read Goosebumps book, you would prove to them that you read the book and they'd give you a receipt for a personal pan pizza at Pizza Hut. And I remember my man would just lie. And I'd be like hating, like, man, this pussy ain't read that fucking book. Because I don't reward dumb shit. And that's kind of how I am. And the Rockets is just a bunch of non-book reading ass personal pan pizza and getting motherfuckers. And I just don't like them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like them. And I don't want to reward that style of basketball because it gets to the point where it's not even basketball. It's them literally falling on the ground, shooting foul shots, and chucking up threes. That's all it is with them. So I don't fuck with them.
That's a way to put a nice, pretty bow on this, man. This has been the realest podcast ever, episode 88. We appreciate y'all listening to shit, man. Have a good night. We'll see y'all next week.
Holla back.
Peace.